No, I really like golf, and I'm a huge fan of this.
Yeah, I don't know if we caught
do.
on the mics or the cameras, but the first thing you asked me was, "Where's Lurch?"
Come on, Lurch.
Yeah, there you go.
Where are you? Less of this drone selling shit. You're missing out on the big talks. We're about to solve all the world's problems.
Foreplay, right? Barstool Sports. It's Masters time. If you're listening to the show, it's most likely already occurring, already going on. You already got the streams on. You got 15 screens. You got the Amen Corner. You got the featured groups. You got Tiger Woods getting ready to go. You might be listening to it Thursday night because you're so fired up, and we have a gigantic show today.
I want to say, if you are listening to this while watching the Masters coverage, we appreciate you.
Yeah, shout out to you.
There's a lot going on. It's a lot for a golf fan right now. And if you are using up some of that bandwidth to listen to this podcast, we really appreciate that.
And most likely, I'm going to say, if you're listening to the show right now, I'm probably inside the gates at Augusta National.
That's exciting.
I'm probably there on Thursday. I'm going for the first half of the day with a few buddies. Insanely excited. I haven't been to a tournament round at Augusta maybe since 2017.
I'm trying to think. What year was it when we went to the par 3 and we watched Tony Finau bust his ankle?
Was that 19? 18? 18?
That's probably 18. I don't know. I don't remember.
Might have been 2018. But anyways, insanely exciting time. We have a massive show. We have two big guests. We have probably the most famous worldwide human being that's ever been on the show.
Arguably the most famous person that's been on like a Barstool show.
Niall Horan.
Niall Horan from One Direction. Now he's his own mega star. One Direction was just as big. It was the Beatles. It was as big as it gets. He's got 40 million followers on Twitter. He's got 33 million followers on Instagram. The fucking numbers are out of control. He's a golf fanatic, and he's a fanatic of foreplay golf.
Right. You might be asking yourself,
crazy.
That feels like a weird pairing, the Foreplay podcast and a member of One Direction. But we find out during the show, like we had heard on the lead up, like he loves golf. He wants to talk golf. He wants to come on the podcast, talk golf. That's great. We would love to talk golf with him. He gets here. Turns out he's a huge Foreplay fan, watches all of our videos, and he wants to talk golf specifically with us, which was truly an honor.
And it's incredibly fitting this week because he caddied for Rory at the par 3 contest before. He literally played a concert for the women that played in the Women's Amateur, the Augusta National Women's Amateur, a few days ago. He's been to the tournament every year for, I think he said, the last 8, 9, 10 years.
He played the course last week.
Played it last week and goes through some of his rounds, so it's a perfect.
Augusta National released a hoodie with his name on it. That's how relevant this guy is to the tournament.
I want to be clear. It was a real joy to have him on the podcast.
The first thing he said was, "Where's Lurch?"
He did say, "Where's Lurch?"
That's
so
that's how dialed in this guy is.
Right, and he was just so easy to talk to. We would talk about anything. We talked a lot of golf. We talked a lot of our own stuff. Like
he owns a golf agency.
Yep, Modest Golf.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He was great, man. I think people are going to really enjoy that interview.
You're going to love that. He's got this, Irish accent. He's a singer. He's a musical fella. He's incredibly attractive and just so friendly. He was awesome. We're going to do more with him in the future. But we talked with him for about an hour about everything under the sun. His agency, they have Tyrrell Hatton underneath, so we get into some of that. He's boys with Rory. Great chit chat with him. And then the second half of the show, we've got Sahith Theegala, who sits down with Dan Rappaport in Houston. And he talks all about, this is his first Masters. This was Dan's pick to make, to be the For the Cut guy. He's a whole episode basically of Full Swing. So sitting out with him and having him on the show for an extended period of time as he's leading up to, his first Masters appearance. So a lot going on, a lot to kind of throw at people for Masters week. And it's a big week. We did a live show last night at, Club Magnolia here in Augusta, Georgia. Phenomenal turnout. Everyone was really into it. We did a bunch of trivia. We gave out a bunch of merchandise. Fireball whiskey was behind us, so we were drinking some Fireball shots, just hanging in Augusta. We've come a long way from the Natty Shack at the Midas Body Shop, and from going toe to toe with Dave Portnoy, trying to convince him to allow us to do fun golf stuff, to selling that place out last night and having a very enjoyable time.
It was a great time. Thanks to everybody who came out. You guys had come to Club Magnolia or gone to Club Magnolia last year and tried to describe it to me, and then I went there for myself for the first time last night, and even being there, it's hard to describe how great that place is.
Yep.
I still don't have the words to describe what it's like, but if you are in the area and you're not going to the tournament, or you're going to the tournament for a little bit and then want a place to watch the tournament, that's the place to go.
This guy turned a couple houses right outside the gates of Augusta National into just a resort, a legitimate resort where you walk in. There's restaurants, there's music venues, there are full swing simulators, the whole entire deal. There's a mini golf course in the middle. There's patios, there's servers, there's bartenders. It's nuts. There's lights. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The structures back there in the backyard of these houses, which now just looks like a resort, is not to be believed. You have to see it to believe it.
What a venue that place is. I'm going to be back there tomorrow with some buddies as well. I actually might do the recap pod from
There you go.
Club Magnolia tomorrow evening. So a reminder for programming note, after every round, we're doing a recap show. It'll probably be quick, 30 minutes or something, but we want to be able to get stuff out to folks. I know that we put out a show Thursday and we don't put another one out until Sunday. That's 3 days of basically it's like a Super Bowl every day that we just don't react to.
Right.
So we want to be able to get some stuff out there. We're going to try it. Hopefully people enjoy that. So yeah, every day, as soon as the coverage wraps up, bang, we're going to just go record, publish it as soon as humanly possible. Are we going to try to go live? Do we know if we're going to be able to do that? I think we might try to go live on our YouTube.
We're going to try and go live on YouTube, and we're going to push it out to the podcast. So after each round, within the next hour, hopefully we'll have something on the feed.
Mm-hmm.
So once that round ends, just be prepared, and we'll give all our takes. Dan Rappaport will be live, I think, from the media center at Augusta National. So if you're looking for, if you're looking for like the real, if you're looking for the real reactions and like what's actually happening on the grounds, Dan Rappaport will be on this show recapping from the grounds of Augusta.
There's going to be a Barstool Sports employee broadcasting from Augusta National
every single night,
every single time.
Yep,
that's really stunning to me.
Dude, shout out to Dan. A guy got a lot of shit when he fucking jumped ship from Golf Digest, came over here. A lot of our fans were like, whatever. A lot of people were happy. Some people were like, where's Lurch? The whole thing. He's been taking it in stride. It was during an off season of golf. I have no voice, by the way. I just came back from my bachelor party.
You sounded okay.
Okay. It's just we haven't really told them that's why. You know.
True.
Oh yeah, true.
Because we've done live shows.
Yeah.
You were screaming at people at the live show with no voice. So I can't believe you're kind of a heroic effort so far.
Now that golf season's in full swing, no pun intended.
Nice.
He was on full swing, and now seeing him at the Masters, watching Tiger Woods call him D at the podium in Augusta is just he called him D twice.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, D. And then in the next question, Tiger Woods answered someone's question. He goes, as I told D before. It's crazy. That's crazy behavior. So Dan's fucking firing on all cylinders right now.
He's hitting his stride.
Well,
he's hitting his stride. He's making people cry.
People are, some of the negativity right on, and people don't like change or that. People are like, hey, it changes the vibe. He's kind of a dweeb. We're like, of course he's a fucking dweeb. We hired a dweeb that's a golf journalist. He went to journalism school. Yeah. That's what we want. Golf is a hardcore sport where the three of us, plus Lurch, who's still part of our whole operation, the four of us, we're sort of slapsticky about golf. We like to fuck around on the golf course, and we like to have our little takes about the tournament.
We're clowns. I consider us clowns.
But guess what? We also understand that in the golf world, man, there's a huge appetite for a little bit deeper nuts and bolts, hardcore golf coverage. And if we want to be the biggest, best golf alternative media outlet in the world, we want to provide that to people too. He does the Monday Morning Wrap. He gets us a bunch of our guests. And when we get these guys on right after they win tournaments, that's Dan Rappaport. He's there. He's be seen at tournaments. So he's doing a fantastic job. People are kind of coming around and understanding the setup now, which is not that Dan was a replacement to anybody. It's literally that we're adding somebody to the mix that's just supplementary addition to everything that we were doing.
Yeah.
He's finding his stride. He's being much more comfortable with his role, which is not easy, going from the old school journalism route to Barstool blogger. And he's killing it. And now that we're in golf season with the Players Championship and the Masters Tournament and the big events that he can cover, it's just an addition to everything that we've been doing. So he's been awesome. And he's doing other series that he's filmed. So that's why he was down there with Sahith. They talk about that in this interview. And he's got a bunch of stuff coming out too. So Dan's doing great. Lurch, I imagine, will be in a couple videos coming up here soon because we got scrambles, we got travel series coming. So we're just going to keep firing, boys. That's what we're doing.
Things are good, man. We've been putting out, we put out Scotty Scheffler 1 Club on Monday. A lot of people watch that. It's a very, very good video. And then last night, if you're listening to this on Thursday, we put out a Punishment Pies video.
Oh, my God.
So it's
honestly one of the funniest videos we've ever put out.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it yet, I mean, I don't want to give it away. I guess
I would wait.
Colin Morikawa does the challenge.
He lays it on the line.
He lays it on the line. Like when we do Punishment Pies, it's basically if we don't succeed in this challenge, you get to pie us in the face. And Scotty Scheffler pied the fuck out of us.
Yeah, he did.
And then Colin goes, I'll do the challenge. And if I don't get the challenge, you can pie me in the face.
Yep.
So there's a tease right there to just make sure you go watch that video to see what happens if Colin Morikawa is successful or unsuccessful. For a guy to do that at his media day, It's crazy.
Top 5 guy in golf.
Top 5 guy in golf. Just saying, yeah. If I don't hit this green, for sure you can pie me in the face.
Yep.
Insane. One of the all-time foreplay moments. It's an amazing video. Yeah, we're firing. Adam Scott video took off and running.
Yep.
The fucking Billy Horschel video is still running.
It's
been a pretty damn good month.
On YouTube, go check it out. Obviously, we want you to watch all of our videos, and we got some new bangers out there that are starting to roll. They're starting to get into the algorithm. And we got a great show. It's Masters has begun, most likely. If you're listening to this, I'm incredibly fired up. I think there's a recipe right now for there to be a leaderboard going into Saturday and Sunday, unlike we've seen since the early 2000s, perhaps, where you used to, there were a couple years in a row or 2 out of 3 or 4 years where it was Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Ernie Els, David Duval were up there, all in the top 5, 6, 7 as things were coming down the stretch on the second night at Augusta National. And the recipe is kind of building for this year that we could have Rory and Rahm and Scotty and Morikawa and Spieth, Tiger could potentially be up there. You have a live guy in that mix. You might have a Brooks or a DJ or a Cam Smith. And you could have this leaderboard where every name from 1st to 7th is a banger of a name coming down, hitting the shots on the new kind of extended 13th all the way through the drama down the stretch at Augusta. So I'm so pumped up for this week. We got everybody hyped up with Trevor on Tuesday. Now we got Niall and Sahith for Thursday's show. If you guys don't have anything else, I think we throw it.
I just want to give a shout out to Nashville, Tennessee. What a city that is. Everyone says Broadway wins. I didn't know what that meant when I walked in, but Broadway always wins, and it won 4 nights in a row. I had 20 guys down in Nashville for a bachelor party. Shout out to that city. Shout out to Hermitage Golf Club. We're having the Barstool Classic down there. Fantastic little spot with sheep running around. Never seen anything like it. Felt like you were in Ireland. Shout out to Niall. But yeah, no, I just had to give that a shout out. Craziest weekend of my life for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never drink again that way.
Yeah.
That was like a last hurrah when it comes to drinking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's supposed to be, I think.
Dude, there was a point where I was laying down on like the Sunday morning and I was like, when you die, you like don't know unless you're on your like deathbed, you know you're about to die. But like, you don't really know what your body feels like when it just, the heart stops beating until it does. And I was like, the way my body feels right now, I could just, like, my heart could about to be just stop beating.
It could be happening now.
I could be in the moment where I'm about to die in like a minute.
Yeah, people have probably felt better in that moment than ended up dying.
Right. I was laughing so hard, being like, dude, my heart feels weak. Like, everything's
You got a
weak.
shallow heartbeat.
At some point, I could just be on my way for this just being the end.
Well, we're glad
Drinking's
that didn't
crazy.
happen.
You're putting poison in your body
It's
for
purposely poisoning yourself
4 straight days.
to make yourself go a little loopy.
It's crazy if you think
So
about it.
fun, though.
Oh, Nashville's unbelievable.
Drinking,
It's
fun.
Oh yeah, it's
Nashville's whatever.
Drinking's fantastic. it's a party. It's like going to a concert for 4 straight nights. So whatever.
Good. I'm glad you made it. You need to get home.
Yeah, I'm going home tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch the Masters on my couch, and that's fun. That's also
great.
fun to do.
It's awesome.
And yeah, that's it.
Before we get to it, any rumblings about champions dinner fights?
Well, I heard that Phil Mickelson didn't say a word.
Really?
That's what it says on Twitter.
Wow.
He sat in the corner, very quiet to himself, and he did not speak once. That was on like Nuclear Golf. I don't know.
Do you think he's feeling sorry for himself?
I think that was
Pity
probably
party,
his
kind of?
card to play. Like maybe be the sad puppy in the corner.
Yeah, pity party a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what his whole vibe this whole week has felt, pity party.
Yeah, he's he's mopey.
Yes.
Sir Nick Faldo said that for all the people wondering about the temperature of the room, it was calm and cool.
Okay. All right. But yeah, Phil's had a strange vibe. It's a strange situation.
Strange situation.
Certainly, he's been in a lot of strange situations the last 18 months, and this is number one.
Sports Illustrated tweeted out, according to attendees of the exclusive dinner at Augusta National, 3-time Masters champion Phil Mickelson largely kept to himself and did not utter a single word throughout the evening.
Who's that? I would love to know who that source is, because you kind of know it's a select group of people.
Rory
Right.
playing with Brooks was interesting. I mean, he talked about the fact that I think Brooks said that Rory congratulated him after Brooks won the live event, and that this has been largely a thing that they were talking about them playing. It wasn't like it just popped up. So, I mean, that's interesting.
That is. The pairings for Thursday, Friday, pretty vanilla.
They were always going to go.
They were always going to do that. They were never going to give us Tiger Phil and Brooks or no, they were very vanilla. But this week, as Rory has said, and with all the majors, it's above everything else.
Yes,
that's kind of where we're at.
You guys got a pick that you feel confident in?
Yeah, I'm picking John Rahm. I mean, I want to pick Scotty Scheffler bad. I would love to see them duke it out. Everyone's on Rory. He's a great story. I just think Rahm, man, I was just watching him hit balls on the range. He's just fucking problem, man. Yeah. Jon Rahm's a problem. He deserves to win. He deserves to win a Masters, I think.
That's probably right. My heart says Rory because I just want that to happen.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
I think that'd be great. But I think it might be right in front of all of us that Scotty's just going to win it again.
I put money a few weeks ago on Max Homa.
Okay.
Put a good amount on him to win at 2,500. If Scotty Scheffler gets struck by lightning, I think that's a chance. I think this tournament is Scotty Scheffler's going to win by 3 or 4 pretty easily. That's honestly
so crazy.
I think that's right.
Honestly.
It's so surprising how good he is every time he does it. It's like it shocks you. You're like, how? His feet are going all over the place.
Yep.
But he's just so solid.
Well, Dan Rapp said, maybe it was at the live show, that he won the Players by 5 strokes, and he was, he 4-putted last year at the Masters. But if he hadn't done that, he would have won the Masters by 5.
Tiger Woods domination.
And I just said this with Kirk, but this feels like the norm now, where guys go through about a 2-year-ish stretch where they're just win a ton, and then they sort of level off, or they're not as hot, and during that stretch, then they're still staying in the top 5 or top 10. And I think this is Scotty's stretch. I think he's going to win back-to-back Masters.
Who's the last one to do that?
Tiger Woods, early 2000s. But, we had it with Spieth, right, in 2015, where he had, his couple of years. He won another major in 2017. He should have won the Masters in 2016. You had it felt like, with Rahm a couple of years ago when he just got to number 1. He won the U.S. Open. You had it with Rory in 2014, and then he's had kind of stretches as well where he's been the guy. You had it with Brooks, where Brooks had that 3-year stretch where he wins a ton of majors. And I just feel like that's kind of the norm now. You even had it with Padraig Harrington in 2007, 2008, where he won 3 majors in a couple of years. And it kind of feels like that stretch. And I just think Scotty is in that spot where I think those big 3 are pretty much the same. But that part that Brooks Koepka talked about in Full Swing, where he's like, I think Scotty Scheffler's at home, just not even thinking about his golf swing, to just taking that weight off of his shoulders that Rory carries with him here, that Rahm, I think, carries with him here because they haven't won here yet, I think is going to be that extra 3-shot difference that I think Scotty's going to win pretty easily on Sunday.
Scotty's a different cat. I was watching him in his press conference yesterday,
and
somebody asked him, if you won back-to-back majors, the only guys who've done that is, Tiger, Jack, and Nick. They're like, what would that feel? How would that feel for you? And he said, I don't play for legacy. In 100 years, I'm going to be dead and nobody's going to remember me. That's the guy. That's the kind of guy that we're dealing with.
Because winning the Masters.
They also asked him, what have you bought with this $30 million that you've made in the past year? He said, I still drive the same car and we still live in the same house. This is a guy who's he's only playing for himself and to enjoy the celebration afterwards. And after that, he goes to the next tournament and probably wins that one.
That's what I'm saying, man. Do you remember we watched him at the Ryder Cup putt for 15 hours and we just wanted to say hi to him? I think that's what he does. He hangs out with Meredith. He drinks a little tequila to celebrate occasionally. He likes to go out to eat and eat pretty standard food, pizza. And then he just likes to work at golf tournaments or work at the game of golf and win golf tournaments. He's very much like Cam Smith in that regard, I feel like. Two of them are pretty much we're not here for legacy and building a brand. We just do our normal shit. Cam Smith, it's fishing. But we just work at golf and try to win golf tournaments. That's it. I don't really care about anything else.
It's working for Scotty, man. I'm with you, Riggs. I think he's going to win this tournament.
I hope that I'm wrong. I still hope Scotty wins. That'd be great. I'm going to put some money on him. Hope that I'm wrong because of the reasons that I stated at the beginning of the show, where there's a pressure cooker that could just deliver this iconic back and forth down the stretch with 6 different names like we had in 2019 of people that could win, lead changes and everything else. So I hope I'm wrong in that regard. But as we love Scotty, he's the most wholesome guy in the world. He's a friend of the program, so it'd be great if that happens. I just would like to see it a little bit more dramatic than that.
Yeah.
I just think that it's
going to be someone random like Louis Oosthuizen.
No, dude. I don't think so.
Someone that knows the golf course.
Danny Willett?
Someone that they say that those guys have an advantage on everybody else just because they've won, they know. I'm putting a little bit of long money on guys that like a Louis. I really am.
Who was the last quote unquote random guy that we had win it?
Danny Willett, maybe 2016.
I guess that's
super random.
Yeah,
right. It
just feels like those days are over. Scotty, Hideki, Sergio, Tiger.
Reed was a big name.
He's a big name. I just think the big names.
DJ.
I think those are the guys who show up now.
Yeah, even before that, it was Spieth, and then it was Bubba.
Yep.
Which are those are big. Those are multiple major winners. It's yeah. But you're right. I mean, Schwartzel in 2011.
Yep.
2000. What was it? 9 that it was Angel Cabrera. So you've had some. He's pretty random.
Yep. Zach Johnson, not random.
In 07.
Yeah. Our guy will win in 08.
We might be due, actually. Might be due for
a random name. That's all I'm saying.
Like, imagine if like Scott Stallings won. Or
that story would be crazy with his.
Yeah, that's true. With
his invitation.
Vito Pereira.
That swing would have worked out on 18. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll cut up the right side.
All I know is I'm very excited to watch.
It's gonna be great.
I'm pumped for the Masters. I'm pumped for people to listen to this interview. Niall is just as cool as it gets, and then Sahith is turning into a superstar in the game of golf, and it's his first Masters, so we got a lot of good stuff for you guys to hear. Enjoy the Masters tournament. We'll be back literally Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, coming right to you from
big time
from Augusta National. So enjoy the Masters, enjoy these interviews, and a big thanks to Chevy.
Amazing.
Chevy EVs for everyone everywhere, boys and girls. I see them out on the street now. I see that bow tie, get really excited about it, and then I think about that classic line of models of 100 years of fantastic history, great American company, and just evolving into the EV space, electric vehicles. That's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the future. Talking about bringing that type of class, that type of history, that type of success for a great company into today's modern world with the electric vehicles. The Bolt EV and Bolt EUV, we had one of those puppies on the tee box at the 11th hole at Greyhawk's Talon course during the Barstool Classic Championship last year. Seeing that just phenomenon of a machine in front of us was impressive. Now the fact that you're going to be able to get the Blazer EV, you're going to be able to get the Silverado EV, all these lines. You can go to their website. You can play around with the tools, with the different models, with the colors, with the interior, see what's available now, see what you can pre-order and have available soon. Chevy EVs, fellas.
Yeah, we've got a blacked out Tahoe this week. It's unbelievable. And Scotty drives a Chevy still too.
He does.
That's the car of choice for the Masters champion. So
it's a good pick.
Mm-hmm. Over 1,900 certified EV dealerships from Chevy around the country. So no matter pretty much where you live, you can go in. They're going to be able to dial you in, get up to date, up to speed on the knowledge of what you need to know about EVs and EUVs, and then match that obviously with Chevy and with what they've been doing for 100 years. And you've got yourself a winner. So Chevy EVs for everyone, everywhere.
Where's Lurch?
Where's Lurch? He's not here. You know what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're just doing it. I think we're in.
Are we in?
I think we're doing the podcast.
Is this it?
Yeah.
What a start.
Yeah. Excited to have you here.
Thanks very much for having me. I'm a huge fan of you boys.
Really?
Yeah. Watch every video.
I have to say that
I will say they're a bit too long.
They are. We get that. That's some feedback that we get. Yeah.
We've been talking about doing them shorter.
Joking, honestly. It can be as long as they want.
We figured because we're in where are we, Evans, Georgia right now?
Yeah,
we're at an Airbnb in Evans, Georgia during Masters Week, and you drove out here with your entourage to do the show. And we were talking, we're like, this guy must really fucking like golf or something because there's no reason for you to be out here with us.
No, I really like golf, and I'm a huge fan of this.
Yeah, I don't know if we caught on the mics or the cameras, but the first thing you asked me was, "Where's Lurch?" So that's Lurch? A guy.
We asked the same questions.
Why don't you look in one of these cameras and
come on, Lurch?
Yeah, there you go.
Where are you? Less of this drone selling shit. You're missing out on the big talks. We're about to solve all the world's problems.
So you've got a great tie to Augusta National. You've been coming here for like a decade? You've been coming to this?
Yeah. I came to my first one in 2014, I think it was.
Okay.
And then just been coming every year, and whenever I can, I kind of make this our trip every year, and we go play a bit of golf around the area and stuff like that. And been coming for a while.
So you in 2015, I think you caddied for Rory in the par 3.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
He just texted me like the week before and said, "Do you fancy carrying the bag for the par 3?" I was like, I nearly start crying.
What's your guys' relationship before that? Do you guys know each other?
Yeah. The old Irish thing has us connected, I guess.
Sure.
And we've got a lot of mutual friends beforehand, and we knew each other quite well. And then, he asked me to do it. It was nuts.
See, I would feel like that would make me look dumb to be like, oh, you guys are both Irish, North Irish, so you just know
right. Like
each other.
I'm from Iowa.
Yeah.
And anytime like I'll meet somebody who's met someone from Iowa, they're like, you must know this person.
I know that happens to me a lot too.
It happens to me all the time.
But yours is actually true with Rory.
Yeah, it is true. It's only a country of like 4 million people. There's probably 4 million people in your town.
There's 3 million people in the state of Iowa.
There you go.
So it's pretty close.
Yeah, that's
That
not
is
far
close.
off.
How often do you go back?
I go back to Ireland probably 5-6 times a year.
Play a lot of
whenever I
golf?
can. Play a bit of golf, yeah, whenever I can. I'm over here so much that it's not just like a hop home.
Right.
It's a whole deal to get back. But yeah, when I'm home, I'm playing a bit of golf. Yeah.
This week, what's it look like for you? So you've got the Augusta National, the ANWA Women's Amateur shirt on.
Yeah.
What? So we haven't been to that event yet. We've been to the par 3.
Yeah.
We've been for practice rounds of the Masters. We've been to tournament rounds. Frankie had a famous one in 2017 where he was basically the Forrest Gump of the 2017 Masters
I
final
went in
round.
solo.
He saw
God,
everything.
My voice sucks. I went in solo and just like meandered my way to the front of the ropes on every single hole that Sergio was like surging to win the Masters. It was unbelievable.
Oh, incredible.
You saw a hole in one right in front of
Yeah,
you.
hole one, Kuchar just put one
Oh,
in
yeah.
on 16.
16, I remember.
And then Sergio hits the flagstick on 15, almost drains it from the fairway. Like everything was just happening in front of me.
That's insane.
It's just one of those days that like without your phone and just like you're really just dialed in.
Yeah.
And you just go back home and tell everyone the story and you're very descriptive and so
Because you have to be. You don't
You
have
have to
videos
be.
to back it up. And
Right.
pictures.
I'm telling people like the colors, like
Yeah.
what people were wearing around me, and everyone's like on the edge of their seat. It was so cool.
Yeah, no,
One of my
that's
favorite
probably my
experiences.
favorite thing about this place.
Yeah,
The no phone thing.
yeah.
For one obvious reason, but like it is, there is something really cool about looking at pictures of other tournaments and then looking at pictures of this, and no one in the crowd's got their phone in their hand and they're just taking it all in, and that's something to, to keep the magic of the Masters, if you like.
The first 10 to 15 minutes without your phone, especially us, because we're on social media,
Yeah.
we're addicted to it. The first 15 minutes, you feel like
Yeah.
an addict. You're kind of like looking for your phone. And then once you're 20 minutes in, it's like, oh, I can breathe.
Yeah.
And I can just sit here and watch the golf, really take in all the colors, everything that's going on. I don't know. No one would ever do it. Like, you could never go back now. That's kind of out of the bottle at this point. But if more tournaments did it, I think people would enjoy golf more.
100%. It's so much fun. Like, just being there with your mates, being able to talk through all that shot instead of just standing there like this and just taking it in that way.
And those videos people take, they go nowhere.
They never look at them ever again.
They like, we'll put them out because that's our job, but people who just take those videos, they'll maybe send them to like one buddy's group, but then after that it just goes by.
Yeah.
And you should just watch it. Just sit there and watch it, take it in, let it soak into your
The
memory.
only person who watches it is my dad.
Your
He'll
dad
take a
watches
video of a 3-hour wedding. He'll just a whole night like this, and then I'll be over their house.
3-hour
He's like, I got it.
We'll
I
be
got it.
watching TV and like at their house and like in his room you'll be hearing like just like noise and music. I'm like, is he watching
What's he
that
doing?
video he took last week? Just sitting there watching all of them, every single
He's
one.
smiling. He's like, this
He
is
told me
great.
that I shouldn't get a photographer for the wedding because he's got it under control.
Hey, Frankie, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at that. I was there.
Yeah, no, we were all there.
I was the wedding.
And he does selfie video, so we'll
See,
do
that I'm into.
He'll do selfie video and then he'll turn it so you see yourself.
That's my favorite story of your dad and his phone. So you're in a fake rock band.
Well, we
which
can't
can
talk about music around
All right,
this
we don't
guy.
have to.
It's
We're
on-
not.
this
But
Oh, we're getting into
guy's
that.
he
a
does,
musician.
yeah. Mr. Borelli will do a selfie camera, and then he wants to film his son performing, so he just turns it around like that. so Frankie's looking at himself.
Rowan, our singer, is in the front of the stage and he's just seeing himself, and my dad's just like, like he's FaceTiming somebody.
I need to meet your dad.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's
He sounds like a hero.
It's just pure love right there, man.
Oh,
It's just my son is in this
crazy
band.
Behavior. Crazy
So
behavior.
what do people do out there with you? They ask you to sign stuff since they don't have phones?
I actually you're allowed cameras on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I got asked for a few photos when I was out. I was down in Amen Corner. I just came from there. It was insane.
Oh, I can't
On a morning like this.
Yeah.
Like, it's just perfect out there.
You were in Amen Corner this morning.
Yeah.
Now you're in Evans, Georgia.
yeah,
with
doing the
us.
podcast.
But isn't it gorgeous, guys? Isn't it gorgeous?
It is.
Fall from grace in one morning. Still in morning time. So the women's amateur, I know you're out there. You did a show, is that right? You did a
Yeah.
little show for the girls.
That was insane. Down in Berkman's Place.
Yeah.
Augusta asked me last year would I perform at this year's women's amateur just for the girls. I think they kept it pretty secret because there was a few gasps when I got on stage, which was for either a good reason or a bad reason.
Probably pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really cool. They set up a little stage at Berkman's Place, and all the membership were on board, and I just played for all the girls that were in the competition and took photos with them and stuff. And it was, and they made these really cool hoodies just for the girls with this logo on it and my name and like a special evening, at Augusta National, which for me it was just, that was so cool, to have that association with Augusta is just like nuts for me.
Right. Yeah.
Imagine Augusta asked you to perform.
No.
Yeah, it's just nuts.
Sure, yeah, I'll do that. Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
I'll think.
Does that come in like an invitation like they give the players? Does it come like, we want you to perform at Augusta?
No, I kind of wish that they'd done it that way.
Yeah.
Just the nice letter that I could frame. But no, it was definitely just like a conversation at the last Masters. There was no sexy letter with it.
When you go into the tournament this week, then do you just drive right down Magnolia Lane?
What's the right answer here without pissing people off?
That's a good.
The answer's yes.
You don't have to say yes. That's,
we're
well, I
putting you in a
can't
bad
imagine
spot.
they're going to ask you to perform. It'd be like, you got to park over in lot H with Frankie and Trent and Riggs. Like,
I just realized though that going to the Masters has to, on like a Thursday or Friday, has to be the greatest place for a mega celebrity to go to. 'Cause there's no phones around them.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's like your favorite place ever.
Oh, I love it. Honestly,
Think about that.
Nice.
This guy's been famous his whole entire life. Crazy famous. Let's crazy.
Yeah, he's boy band famous.
Now he gets to go to the best event where usually it would get ruined for you, right? Constantly, you can't walk anywhere. Now you just get to exist.
But that must be the same for you guys at golf tournaments. Surely you can't move.
Yeah, but it's got to be one.
We can't. We're not going to can't compare those two things.
I don't know if you can, because like your crowd is there, like your main.
That is our demo
Your
for
demo
sure.
is there.
For sure. But the big thing for us is most tournaments now we can get an inside the ropes pass, and you can keep moving.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're out in the crowd, you could get it. But like we get like middle-aged white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
People, we don't get like.
If you
boy
saw our
band type.
Instagram algorithm, like our insights, it's exactly flipped from yours. You're like 97% female. We're 1% female. It's
no way.
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
Oh man,
We're 99-1.
But look at us.
Yeah.
Opposites attract.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Look at
Well,
us.
look at you. Well, yeah, exactly. Look at you and look at us. That's the reason.
Look at us.
Yeah.
What are the interactions like then? Is it less, or is it weirdly like a more meaningful interaction because you're just meeting these people and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm such a huge fan?
No, it's great. It's so nice. Like I just had some people come up to me there, just like quick fist pump. Nice to meet you, dude. Hope you have a great week.
Awesome.
Say the same back, and it's just like I remember them.
Right.
I remember those little interactions where it's been kind of nice, and it's great. It's so nice. It's good to.
That's interesting.
It's good with that. Yeah.
Be incredible to compare DMs.
No.
Your DMs to our DMs would be very fun.
I don't look at them.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's probably be impossible.
Mine are a nightmare.
Are they
Mean?
Oh my god, so
mean? Are people mean to you?
They think they're our buddies, so like they chirp us constantly.
When like we have obviously a very male dominated audience with the golf stuff, but I also do a podcast, Chicks in the Office, where it's pop culture, and I watch The Bachelor, so we do recaps for that, and their fan base is largely female, and for whatever reason, the males are way meaner on the internet than the females. I don't know why that is.
Why? Yeah.
The women are very supportive. They're like, oh, we love this. And then the guys, it's probably a bust and balls thing that doesn't come across quite the right way.
In text.
Yeah. It's something I've found, and I don't know what the answer is.
Can't answer that.
I don't know. It's very strange.
I gotta ask you about, so you got this golf management company.
Yes.
That you guys run, agency, I guess. And Tyrrell Hatton's one of your guys.
Yep.
I think he's maybe the most interesting guy to watch play golf in the world.
Yeah.
What's he like?
He reminds me of you boys.
Yeah? Really? See, I think we would love to have him on the show. He'd be incredible.
Yeah. Let me talk to him.
Okay.
I can get him on. I know a guy. So he's Tyrrell's. Yeah, I've just been out watching him practice. He's exactly how he is on camera. I think people sometimes feel like is he putting it on for the cameras because he knows they're there. I've played like multiple rounds of golf with him, like in private, and he's just as. That's just who he is. He's just like any of us. Like I hear so much worse down the local golf club.
Oh yeah.
From the average person than he'll ever do. It's just how he's on camera and it's amplified. But I mean, there is relativity to golf, and his bad shots are not as bad as ours, but it's still a bad shot to him, and he wants to let himself know that he's made a mistake.
Definitely.
We've talked about, we've had a bunch of, we call them psychopaths until we end up talking to them, and then we realize they're real people, but like a Billy Horschel, we've said,
you guys are so funny on Billy Horschel.
You guys are a lunatic out there, John Rahm. But like, Golf's the only sport in which you're not allowed to get angry. It's like it's the craziest thing. I've really come around and I've done a complete 180 on it.
Yeah,
and
John Ram was kind of saying that to you guys, wasn't he?
Yeah,
like,
why am I not allowed to get frustrated when I'm playing at the highest level and I know that it takes fire to compete, and if I don't perfectly succeed in what I'm trying to do, I'm going to get frustrated at myself.
100%.
Well, and when you watch a baseball player strike out, he snaps the bat over his knee. People are like, I love that guy.
Yeah.
That's the aggression I want to
Passion,
see.
let's go.
Passion. But then when a golfer does it, everybody's like, what's wrong with this guy?
Well, it's just like history would say that that's not the thing to do. It's just that now we're turning a corner where the golfers are becoming a little bit more human.
Yeah.
Like look at the top 30 in the world. Like most of them are like in their mid-20s.
Yeah.
Like it's we're turning the corner a little bit on some of that old school kind of view on what a golfer should be.
And you've had a huge role in that. I mean, you're bringing more women into the game and a younger demographic. Like, what made you try and start this whole movement in golf, make it younger, cooler?
I guess because what I know of golf isn't what people think it is.
Right.
And I'm sure you guys see the same in what you do. Like my experience in golf was I joined a really cheap local golf club at home when I was a kid. I got like a set of second-hand clubs and I went and I played 36 holes a day in the summers and like made so many friends through golf in high school and that kind of thing. And then I just think there's an overview of like I was doing an interview yesterday on the radio and someone said to me, "You like golf, but you're young and cool." I was like,
and that's the perception.
Yeah. I was like, thanks. Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take it. But no, it's like that's just a perception. There are some things about golf that we could do with changing. Let's be honest. But we're getting there. I think like you guys do a great job at that. I'm doing the little bit I can on the side. But I think it's important. It's such a great sport. Like some of my favorite memories, my favorite trips, some of my best friends I've made through golf. Some of the greatest days out, having a few drinks on the course in the sunshine, like all of those things add up to what should be a great experience for everyone.
All right, boys, I don't want to get all parental on you, but it's time we had the talk.
What?
The one with the 3-letter word that ends in X.
Oh, my God.
What are we doing right now?
It's called a tux.
Oh.
Okay.
See what I did there?
You did. You had me going.
Did I trick you?
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Sex.
Sex.
I was talking about tux, T-U-X. And when you need a tux, the best place to go to get one is the black tux. I think you might need a tux here soon, Frank Borelli.
I'm going to tux. My buddies are going to need a tux. My bridal party is going to need a tux. So we are going with the black tux. I actually used the black tux for my buddy Andrew's wedding. And I was pleasantly surprised with how easy it was.
That's great.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I loved the way it fit. You were able to put in all of your wants and needs and your size and
take the fit quiz.
And I wanted it nice and tight, and I wanted it slim, and it was perfect, man. It was like a modern, sleek tux, and everything was super easy. You send it right back. It was great.
I don't know if this show wants it too tight.
Not too tight.
Or anybody on our show.
No. I'm telling you, like,
especially Lurch.
2 weddings ago, when I was in my buddy's wedding, I went to just like a mom and pop like tuxedo shop.
Yeah,
and I got into an argument with the guy about like what's in.
Right.
He like gave me a fucking like he gave me like a parachute for pants, and like I can't even look at the photos anymore. It's like hanging on like my sister-in-law's like in her house, and I look at my legs all the time like that fucking guy.
You look like Tracy McGrady.
I remember telling him, I'm like, like tight pants are in. They want to show a little ankle. He goes, I'm in the business for 85 years. I think I know what's in.
He still thinks what was cool 85 years ago is cool now.
I'm gonna get blown away by a gust of breeze.
You look like MC Hammer.
It was crazy. So we've eliminated that issue, and we're going with black tux only because you don't have to have that argument. You could just take the quiz, and they just send you the right stuff.
They also, if your fit somehow is not right, which probably won't happen, you can say hello to the black tux fit guarantee. You order a better size within a day or two of receiving the less than great fitting one, and they'll send another right away at no extra cost. Rent or buy, the Black Tux is the best place to go when you need a tuxedo for a wedding or any special night. Right now, when you go to the blacktux.com/4, that is theblacktux.com/4, and use code 4, you'll save $30 off your order. That is THEBLACKTUX, theblacktux.com/4, code 4 to save $30, theblacktux.com/4, code 4. golf is the only sport, and we talk about a lot. One of the great benefits of it is you can be 82 and, you know, male, female, and have your handicap and have your style of play and go have a legitimate match, 4-hour round, whatever, with a, you know, 19-year-old nephew or great nephew, and you can all compete and have fun together. What that also brings is in the group that's at 10 a.m., there might be 4 82-year-old women that have done it one way forever. And in the 10 a.m. group, there might be 4 23-year-old kids that just graduated college that are listening to music. And what you get is this kind of juxtaposition among the game. Whereas, like, if you're just playing in if you're playing pickup basketball or something, you're going to have pretty much the same demographic from, like, 6 a.m. on that court until 6 p.m. on that court. And that's sort of what the culture is, where in golf you have all of these different clashing cultures sort of together in the same place at the same course. And country clubs sort of separate a little bit, but for the most part, when we're trying to bring it together and bring everybody to the same place, it's very difficult to bring people that are from so many different walks of life, different stages in their life, into the same place to do the same thing. And I think what we've done is like showcase that people don't have to be at odds with each other in golf. It's more, no, we're all here to kind of do the same thing. We're all here to try to play our best game, have a good time. We're getting away from work. We're getting away from being stuck inside. The birds are flying around chirping, and it's beautiful out. And I think people are starting to more come around to like, oh yeah, we're all supposed to just be enjoying that.
100%. I think previously, the line that comes to mind is golf has always been really good at talking to golf. Like, you turn on the Golf Channel, you're selling a driver to a dude that's sat at home. You know, like, it's always been really good at talking to golf. It's never really been good at, like, spreading its wings and, like, getting to other demographics. And I feel like we're starting to make a small turn. It'll take a while. But yeah, as you say, it's going to be difficult. But I feel like it's
definitely changing, because we just played. We played Adam Scott in a match, and we played at this place called the Yards. It's in Ponte Vedra, Florida. It's right by TPC Sawgrass, and it's a 12-hole course. It's a hang. It's like very relaxed, very chill.
Music everywhere.
But there's a couple, like, you know, 400, 500-yard holes, a couple par threes. Like, that's where golf is going, where it's not like stuffy country club. You feel like you're walking on eggshells. You're nervous to be there. You don't want to make a mistake. Now, the corner that you're talking about it's more accessible for people. 12 holes, have a few drinks, have a good time. And it's just way more fun that way. And golf then just grows as a sport, which is what everybody wants.
The only tricky thing is that we still do love, in certain spots, the history and the tradition.
We love this.
We love all of this. Like
it's Augusta National. You can't even get in.
There's no doubt about it. But if we're talking about, like, trying to get more people in, then
totally.
Of course. We do a lot of work with the RNA, and they're, like, really doing, like, surveying the land and the world to see why people don't play golf, and if they were to get into it, how they would like to do it. And it's basically what it sounds like is it feels like a lot of people see it like going to a gym class and being in the room and they're afraid to embarrass themselves. Or, you know, if you're a 20-something-year-old girl and you want to take up golf, you're like, well, how do I do that? Where do I go to take up the game of golf? Is it just Top Golf? You know, is it just, like, can I go and, like, with a couple of friends and, like, get a lesson somewhere and I'm not with a lot of strangers, so am I going to be embarrassed? Like, they're doing all these kind of, like, surveys to figure out what's the best way of, like, centralizing how
the entry is really difficult.
Yeah,
it is.
It's always been difficult. I think now, with places like the Yards and the par 3 courses that are popping up, those are segues or gateways into getting into golf, but it must be incredibly intimidating. Like,
literally, you have to play to a standard to play. You have to, like, be able to, like,
at least to enjoy it.
That's the perception, I guess. Is like you have to be a certain level to go out there and move the ball along.
And you're right, to enjoy it. I think that's a great, like, to even get out there, you have to just be able to hit the ball into play, kind of. But to enjoy it, you got to be able to play to a decent level. Otherwise, you'd be like, oh, this sucks.
Who were we talking to recently?
Just
oh, it was so recent that it said you have to have a permit to play.
Oh, that was Thomas Peters.
What?
Oh yeah,
in Belgium.
In Belgium. In Belgium, you have to. Talking about, like, having to play to a certain level to be able to play, you have to. It's like it's like a driver's ed course. So you have to have a permit
to be allowed
play.
On the road.
Register and to vote.
Which is like that. That's
like the opposite. That you know, like, the basic rules of golf.
Oh, that's a bit much for me.
Yeah, that's the opposite of what we're talking about. That's crazy.
I like the balance. Like, I love the days, like the big days out on the course is just like beers in the cart, like music everywhere. And all that kind of stuff. But as you say, Frankie, like, I love all of that tradition. There's no better place in the world than St Andrews or Augusta or, you know, the old school feel of it. because we're in golf already,
Yeah.
and we like it that way.
Those are our big moments.
Yeah, we want those to exist. We want those to be exclusive, where we're almost not supposed to be there. When we are, it's awesome.
This guy you did it last week, no?
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to play it. We became friendly with a member years ago, and he's been so good to us, taking us out.
Augusta National, we're talking about.
Yeah, Augusta National. It's just
these guys all got to be quiet when they talk about that.
Yeah.
You can hear.
Yeah, you can hear your voice just kind of gets a little quieter.
Yeah. I hate talking when it comes to Augusta National. I hate talking about it in public.
You can't.
Just why it's so cool. That's
because
great
everyone
that
is
they...
just sitting at home going, "What a."
No, I thought people were afraid to say it because then you'd like get put on a list or something.
Like, are you? I don't know if this is a question. Like, are you allowed to talk about your experience?
Yeah, I like to keep it. Yeah, I do. Yeah, well, it's just such an incredible thing to be able to do, and like, not many people get to do it.
No.
And it's like I realize that every time I step through the gates of the place, like it's just getting on the property is just insane, and then like trying to play good golf while walking around with shaky knees is
how'd you
an
play?
interesting experience. I played good the other day actually for a change. When you try and get rid of all of the historical moments that happen on each hole, and you try and play your own game, it becomes a little bit more enjoyable. Like you start hitting shots and stuff like that. I think I shot 81, and I had
excellent.
I had a double or two. Maybe.
Members tees?
Yeah,
That's good golf.
It's excellent.
it's good enough.
How do you
I
do
always say like I'm good enough for what I need it for.
How do you do
Which
it?
is
Right.
not
You
much
got
more
to
than
play
what
the
we're
holes.
doing.
Yeah, you're like in the holes. You're trying to make pars.
Yeah, so you were putting on those greens, which everyone says is like the most difficult thing in the world.
Yeah,
Like, is it as crazy as?
they're rapid.
Yeah,
Like it's some of the downhill putts, you barely have to move the putter back. Like you just
oh my god,
like the tiniest taps, and it's bang. Could go 30 feet just off a tiny little tap, and the undulation. Like if you miss your second shots are so important at Augusta. If you miss the green on the wrong side, pull it a little bit, push it a little bit, no chance. You have to be the best chipper in the world to get it back up there and in a good spot.
are the caddies just so important there? Like, are you listening to every single thing that they're saying?
It's crazy. Like they get a fair idea from the range of what sort of a player you are, so they can get a good feel of what how far you're hitting your irons and all that. But then from there, it's just like, well, there's the miss, and then when we get on the greens, it's like hit it over that spot right there.
Yep. Absolutely.
They're off the tee. They're like anywhere in that 100-yard area is great. And they're like, you got to hit it to this centimeter.
And they are so true every time. It's nuts.
All right, 11, 12, 13. How'd you play?
Par 11, par 12, and double 13.
Par 12.
Yeah, that was the first time I played it and I hit the green.
Come on.
Wow. Yeah, the last time I played it, I hit the most perfect 9-iron I've ever hit in my life, heading straight at Sunday's pin back corner.
Uh-oh.
And it was like it just hit this wall.
No.
Just it didn't even like go like that. It just went boom, out of the sky into the water.
Like a video game that's like the end of the universe. Just boom.
That was where Molinar's career ended, that same shot.
Same shot. Basically the same thing.
Exact same thing. Hate to see that.
We talked about with Trevor Immelman the other day. 15 sneaky, probably the hardest hole out there to hit that green.
For an average golfer.
I've never gone for that in two.
No,
not a chance. I'm chipping down there and hoping the pin's in the back right, so I've got a bit of a long shot in.
Take
the water.
Get one a little thin even and get it up there.
Is it true though, like as an amateur golfer, that you can actually it's a playable golf course because you can kind of hit it anywhere, right? Like you can kind of you're not losing golf balls.
You're not losing unless you hit it into water on 16 or 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
You're not all over the place. It's definitely like off the tee, and the pros will say it from their tee box too. Like there is room for maneuver.
Yeah, everything's in front of you right there.
But the second shot, you have to be on the right side of the green. It's just impossible otherwise. But yeah, I've had some disasters there and played some decent stuff there too.
Isn't golf incredible that I'm going to guess here, but that you're a megastar. People are so nervous to meet you. I was very nervous you're coming over today. Everybody's like cleaning the fucking house. We haven't cleaned the house.
They were cleaning the floors with a toothbrush, dude. People are going crazy.
But then the script flips when you're on the tee, and all of a sudden golf is such a humbling and neutralizing game where Now people are looking at you and like, how's this guy going to handle it? And I bet you're nervous as hell standing over tee shots.
It's crazy. Like, there's no one around Augusta when we played it, and I'm like on the tee, like shaking, like,
oh God,
oh no, like it's what is golf? Like, it's just nuts. Like,
yep. Well, we were talking about the other day. You were saying if you ever got to play, you don't think you'd get the ball in the air on any shot. Like, and I think that's how people feel.
Yeah, I just feel like the game is so mental, and that if you're in that state of mind where it's like I'm not supposed to be here, or I can't believe I'm here, it's like I'm not going to perform to my fullest potential.
Oh no, not a chance. Like the amount of shots I hit then, just from like wanting it to go in that spot.
Exactly.
So I'm having a look quick on the way through.
Yeah.
Lifting my head.
Please be going there.
Yeah, right.
Did that so many times. But as I said, once you kind of take some of that out of it, you can knock it around there if you've got like a decent swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes the pros that much more impressive, right?
That
imagine the pressure on Sunday playing at that place, trying to win it. I don't know how those guys don't collapse. Physically collapse.
And a golf swing is such an easy thing to collapse, to melt down. God. It takes almost
a millimeter.
1.5 seconds of madness.
Yes. Right. Like, look at that Mito Pereira shot last year on the 72nd hole of the PGA.
Yeah.
I can't believe it doesn't happen every time somebody has a lead. Because we look at that and we break it down. Like, that was one of the worst looking things from a really top player I've ever seen in my life. And it's like, how do they not do that every time when they're leading a tournament?
All up here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. And to be able to pull that off under that kind of pressure, like you said, nobody's even watching you. And we're standing on certain tees being like,
It's just about confidence. It's about skill. I mean, when we sing the national anthem at the Barstool Classic, I want to puke. This guy sings in fucking arenas and Wembley Stadium. It's like fucking unbelievable. So, I mean...
It just shows you, by the way, how good Tiger was.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah,
like
it always goes.
I know it always goes back to that.
It
like,
does.
Anytime we talk about this and pressure and all that, the first person that comes to mind is Tiger Woods. The stuff he was doing back in the day was just nuts.
It's like when you.
I say back in the day, by the way, 2019.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
I do fear is like we were. I mean, I was kind of young. I mean, you were definitely young at that point. Like I lived through it, but then. You go back once you really start to get into it, like you really go through it and you're like, that's fucking crazy what's going on with him. But then as you get older, you almost fear that people are going to lose. It's so mythological that like you wonder if it's going to lose it, but it was really that crazy when he was doing it.
Dude, there was I was like sports conscious during his second run of terror, which is like 05 to 08, 09.
Yep.
And the first one, I just wasn't in. I was more into hockey. I wasn't that into golf, and like I just missed it, like 2000, 2001, 2002. But that one, there were stretches. There were multiple stretches where from the wraparound, from like the end of 06, I think, to like early 07, and then from the end of 07, early 08, where he won like 6 and 7 tournaments in a row.
Like
so, you're watching like he play Bay Hill, and it'd be like.
Which makes
automatic that he's going to win
for last season.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. And it was you turn on Bay Hill and he'd won 8 in a row there, and like he'd won 7 tournaments in a row going. And he'd be like, he's playing 143 other people or whatever it is, and he's just obviously going to win. And then he would just win. Like he would just make a putt on the 72nd hole and throw his hat down. And be like, like, I won. Obviously,
he would be like He would be minus odds to win a tournament.
Yeah.
Which in golf is like the favorites this week are plus 600.
He'd be in a deficit of odds.
Yes.
But I know, like, I've spoken to some of like the guys that were like up there with him. Well, in the category below him back then, and like they said on a Sunday, multiple of people have said this to me, where they'd stand on a tee, go up and shake his hand. He would look at them, and they were beaten. Like on the first tee, just like they were just. He had this like Sunday look about him where. You're getting it today.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah. And he knew it. He knew that mattered too. Like I'm going to literally end this match. I'm going to end this round on the first tee. I'm going to look.
But it's the same with like MJ and like those guys. Like they just have this extra steel that none of us would ever know how that feels.
Tiger standing in front of the tee box,
so good
because little things like that.
We talk about how he invoked
you just
it a little
see
bit
the
on,
red in
in
the corner of your eye as you're taking your club back. You just see the red.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck.
Right, because he's softened to a degree, and he's admitted that too, where it's like it's not the same. But like on Sunday at Augusta, he'll give it a little bit back and be like, I'm still that guy to a degree.
And he so skillfully knew how to harness all of it. He knew that the crowd was on his side. He knew how he could, and I remember Stuart Sink when we interviewed him, and he obviously, when he took down Tom Watson in 2009, when Tom Watson was 59, I think, at the point, Stuart Sink told an incredible story about how walking to the first tee in the playoff, because Watson had missed the putt to win the Open and made bogey on the 72nd hole, so he's in the playoff. And he said, walking to the tee, he knew that he had to get there second so that he didn't go to the tee, get a little bit of an applause, and then have Tom Watson come in like the conquering hero. Yeah. So he went into the porta potty, he said, and hid in the porta potty until Tom Watson went to the tee.
I didn't even need a piss.
Yeah. He's literally just standing in there, just waiting.
Might just wash my hands while I'm here.
He said he got a round of applause. He heard the Watson round of applause. It was like, and then he walked up so that he got his own, as to be like trying to control the crowd a little bit.
That's so interesting.
Isn't that crazy? But that's so smart. And I think Tiger was the...
He knew all those tricks.
Exactly. He knew, like, I'm going to arrive at this point at this tee. I'm going to look this person in the eye. I'm going to walk off this green at this point so the fans start moving. Like, not unsportsman, but just this
tricks.
Is my fucking world now. It's my world now, Grandma.
Yeah. It is crazy, though, like, how young he was when he took off. And then there was a period where it was kind of the older guys had their time. And then I'm seeing it now, like, in our agency, a lot of our players are like under, all of them basically, bar Tyrrell, are under 30, and it's crazy to see like how young we've got 14 players, a mix of men and women, and they're all really early 20s, so strong, powerful, know all of these tricks from the Tiger thing. Like, just seeing how things work behind the scenes now in golf. It's not just like, oh, they just turn up on Thursday and like. Well, I knew they kind of didn't, but so much more goes into it. Like the mental side of it, the physical side of it, the dietary side of it, the practice, the travel. It's a crazy life. But they're all learning. They're all learning very early these days.
We're talking Truly, and we're talking vodka. We're talking real vodka. We're talking a company that's been with us for 5+ years with the Barstool Classic, which continues to roll on and sell out in about a minute and a half, which I think that's less time than it takes to even fill out the website. And Truly's been there for the entire way. And now they have innovated, they have evolved, they have improved, and they have brought forth the Truly Vodka Seltzers, which are changing the game and are elevating everything about Truly and the Barstool Classic, sponsored by Truly, to a level that I didn't even know we could get to.
It changed the game. Truly was it's always its own thing, and you know we loved Truly. We were always at the Barstool Classic.
Over 30 flavors.
30 flavors. We always had the ad reads we were talking about, and then all of a sudden they hit us with this real vodka, real juice, and it's like it's the only thing stocked in my beer fridge now. It's like all I do is drink these Truly hard, not even the Truly vodka seltzers. It's just, I was waiting for this to come out. This was a big one for me.
They're made with premium vodka. They've got a crisp, clean, refreshing taste, fewer calories. All 12-ounce cans have under 110 calories, which means plenty of refreshing flavor that will not weigh you down. They're lower on sugar. Every Truly vodka seltzer contains only 2 grams of sugar. So do yourself a favor. Trust me. Trust us. Trust Truly. Find Truly Vodka Seltzer near you at trulyhardseltzer.com. That is trulyhardseltzer.com, the official sponsor of the Barstool Classic. And now they've got real vodka in there with all their great flavors. That's trulyhardseltzer.com. How close is your relationship with Rory? You talk to him quite a bit?
Yeah. We talk fairly often. He's obviously in Florida a lot, or on the road, and I'm kind of either LA or London and on the road either. So, I talk to him pretty regular.
He's one of our favorites. Every interaction we ever have with him, he's better than advertised, and he's advertised incredibly well.
He's just a nice, really nice fella. Always has been. Never changed him. All of this madness. Like, he's probably the, bar Tiger, the most supported golfer here this week. There's not one person I've spoken to this week that doesn't think that they want him to win or whatever.
I know.
That's what, we've done a couple videos with him, and my takeaway is always like, he could be a dick. Mm-hmm. Like, if he wanted to, he's Rory. Mm-hmm. He's a star. He's everything. But he's not.
He's Irish, isn't he, Trent?
He's legitimately incredibly nice and engaging and always present when you're with him. Yeah. When he's getting pulled in so many different directions that he could just be like, I don't know, I'm just kind of here and I'm going to go do the next thing. He's so engaged, and I respect the hell out of that every time we see him.
For sure, yeah. He's always great with everyone that he meets. He's such a personable guy with ridiculous talent.
Insane talent.
It's just stupid.
The movie, The Banshees of Inisherin, like,
great film.
You liked it. So Irish people loved that movie.
Oh, I did. I actually haven't spoken to too many Irish about it, but all of our favorite Irish actors are in it.
Yeah.
And
I loved that movie.
It's such a beautiful film, so simple.
Yeah.
Such a simple storyline.
The most simple.
And it just incredible. It just shows you what good actors can do.
Yeah.
With just empty space.
Yeah.
They're ridiculous, but super impressive film. Should have cleaned up, but that's the way it is sometimes.
It's the way it is. We got to go to Ireland, man.
Yeah.
We've never been.
We'll go. We'll do it.
I mean, come on.
We went to Scotland last year. That was great. Yeah. But I want to go to Ireland.
Yeah, Scotland's amazing. It's got the history on it, but it's a little, from what I've heard, it's a little quieter and tamer than Ireland. I've heard Ireland is very fun.
Yeah, because where the golf courses are in Scotland, they're a bit more away from the cities.
Okay.
Whereas most of the golf courses in Ireland are near a major city that you can have drinks, have a week, make a week of it, and do it the way you're talking about.
That's kind of
play really good golf and have all the pubs and the music and all that kind of stuff.
Here's our tour guide. We just found him.
Yeah, I'll text you.
Yeah,
I'll make a list.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, if I'm there, we'll play for sure.
How much golf do you get to play these days?
Not often, really. I'm probably playing on average probably once every couple of weeks, maybe.
Okay,
really. Yeah, I'm not
just so busy.
It's not. It depends what's going on. I was making an album last year, so I played quite a lot of golf because I could, go to the studio in the afternoon, play in the morning. Whereas when I'm on the road, I play less golf when I'm at home. Actually, when I'm on the road, when I'm touring, we try and play every second day.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, we've had a bunch of musicians on the show, and they say when they go on the road, they take their clubs and that's the best time.
Oh yeah, straight away. The first thing on a day off, bus rolls into town. Get your clubs off the bottom of the bus, straight out. Make the most of a good golf course in a good city, yeah.
Who's the guy in your team that sets up all the golf? You have a guy that's like, I'm going to handle this. We'll play the best places everywhere we go.
Well, it's actually more probably me because I know some of the PGA Tour players or whatever. So it's kind of like you go to Kansas one time and I reached out to Gary Woodland and I was like, Gary, could you get me on your local course? Yeah. Please help. And he set us up with this ridiculous place. So, but yeah, things like that are really such cool things. Like I'm very privileged in that.
New album's coming out June 9th.
Yes.
Is that right?
June 9th. Yeah, I've been working on it for it's called The Show. It's out June 9th. I've been working on it for I'd say 18 months. The pandemic was kind of, I never really had time off for the last 12 years. Yeah. So when the pandemic came around, once I realized that we were going to be locked away for a while, I kind of just, I'm going to chill now. I'm not going to actually write or anything and just go along with whatever everyone else is doing in the world. And then I just started writing one evening at home, wrote the title track of the album on the first day, and then just kicked on from there. But it was a slower process because of the way the world was turning a little bit. But I'm glad I took the time, and I can hear, sometimes in music you can hear the time it took. Sometimes if you rush something, you can hear it's rushed. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, wow. I think so. And I can hear it for sure. And and I'm really proud of it, and I'll be coming out in June, and then I'm doing festivals across Europe and a couple in the States, playing in Boston on the 25th of May. Then the album comes out, and then I'll do festivals across the summer in Europe. And then potentially, more than likely, tour next year across the world. So it's exciting, yeah. Very exciting.
About to be very busy.
About to be very busy, but very good golfer.
Yeah.
I'm about to play a lot of golf next year,
true.
Frankie.
True.
What a description of your upcoming plans.
Yeah,
festivals across the summer in Europe, and next year I'm touring globally. Crazy. That's great.
This guy's a megastar.
That's great.
Psychotic.
My buddy's like, we might be able to go to the lake next summer in July one weekend. So good.
Oh god, it's crazy.
When it comes to music, your upbringing into this world, obviously One Direction, now you go on to do your own thing. Was there a struggle to find your own voice in the beginning of this? Find your own sound?
No, I think I was kind of known as the guy who wrote a bit and picked up an acoustic guitar quite naturally. So when I made my first record, that was kind of the place I went to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always trying to experiment a little bit, but still trying to keep it me, for what people know me for, I suppose. But yeah, when I started to write my first stuff, I just kind of sat down with the guitar and played what would naturally come out. And that came out as like a singer-songwriter, folky, Irish kind of deal. But yeah, it was obviously a strange transition, being on stage and looking around, but and there's less people there. Yeah. We like Trent sat here doing the podcast on his own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people would love that.
No,
they would love that.
No, they'd love that.
Let's do that next week.
I don't know about that.
Come on,
maybe.
Solo Trent.
You'd nail it.
All right, I'll do it. Yeah, you're giving me the confidence to do it.
I think you should.
Okay.
Best part is I think the numbers would be through the roof. I don't. People just have to do it.
You're slowing them down, guys. What's going on?
We're trying to do Breaking 90. Have you ever seen this that we do?
Yeah.
We're really close with him.
Yeah, we are.
How close are you?
Closest
Really
is 92.
Right.
But I've been playing great.
How's your driver?
Really good.
Right. Okay. So you're not doing the
fade.
No, the fade is kind of gone, and it's fine. Like, I mean, I would hit it like 190, like 200 yards.
Yeah.
And now I'm hitting it like 230, 240.
Really? Yeah.
And that it goes a long way. Obviously, second shot in is 155 instead of 185.
He's doing that thing now where it's just bombing, but it's going left. It's like, so it's not coming
closer.
back.
It's getting closer.
Right.
Exactly.
That's what everybody says.
Every tee shot, we're like, oh my God, that's nuked, but
Sick.
it's just not coming back. So it's like, now let's just move it.
By the way, how many times have you won holes for this team against
a lot.
professionals?
Crazy amount. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like the crazy chip, the long putt.
Oh.
You always seem to like bag them.
It's I don't know why, but it works out that way.
It's great.
The Max Homa match, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was nuts.
what
My
a
parents
magical.
were there. I was showing out for my parents, I guess.
That was just the universe intervened and just took Trent.
Yeah, I wanted my parents to be proud of me for once.
for once.
Yeah, so if you talk to a female, like if I talk to like my fiance and like my cousins, the fact that he's watching our stuff is this gonna make them pass out.
Yeah,
Think about that.
yeah.
They were like
Yeah,
waiting
it's-
online for like 6 days to get into one of his concerts. He's like watching Trent putt. It's crazy to me. I can't even look at you. It's like insane.
I do like. I
crazy. What
spend
are we
so much
talking
time
about?
watching your stuff.
That's we really appreciate it, and it's just sitting here. That's stunning.
You got to find something better to do. Come on.
What's better to do than watch the boys foreplay?
No, we
but yeah.
really appreciate it. Man.
Oh,
That's-
my
That
God,
was,
dude.
This has been amazing.
no, I appreciate you having me and let me chat golf and tunes and
We're gonna have to play.
yeah. Well, I'm going to be spending a bit more time in the States with the golf company too, because we're bringing it over here as well. And
Okay.
trying to get some good college kids, male and female, and we're on the ground here and see what happens. Yeah, because we're in Europe. We've been doing well for the last 5 or 6 years. So
Yeah, really well.
yeah, it's been nuts. Like when you started it out as like a passion project, and now it's like the passion. You know, it's like it's like such a cool thing to be involved with. Like find a young player and then watch them go and be involved in some of their wins and things like that. And
Well, that's the best when like you're kind of doing something, the main thing obviously, and then the side thing, and it kind of starts to kind of take over, and you're like, oh, I really love doing this too.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
no, it is really cool. It's such a surreal experience. I never thought like watching golf when I was a kid that I would be in any way involved in it when I got older. But I'm just so lucky to be able to do it.
Yeah, no, we're all very lucky.
Yeah, so.
We got to get if you and Tyrrell Hatton played against us three or something in a scramble, something along those lines.
We'd get crushed.
That might have to be a Florida match or something, I think. Yeah, because he's down there a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come up with some kind of format.
Or if you're in
I
the
think
UK
that
or
video
something.
would be
for something.
incredible.
Are you going to the Open?
We don't know yet.
We don't know.
Not sure. We're 50-50 on it.
Have you played St. Andrews?
Yeah, once, yeah. God, that's so good.
Yeah.
It was just the whole... It just gives you the same feeling as this place when
I'm
you see the
sure.
course for the first time and like the streets around it and the clubhouse, the Ornate clubhouse
Yep.
and the ocean and some of the holes is just 17 over the hotel,
Oh my God.
18 up the hill. Like it's just...
When you're out
Special.
in the thick of the course, though, it's just you're kind of by yourself, right? Like
Yeah.
when we went there to go, obviously for the Open last year, I was surprised at like how much the vibe changes just like after like the second hole.
It's crazy because you go. It's what the Jack Nicklaus used to say. It's like the only course in the world that goes out, heads completely out of town, and comes straight back in. Like the front nine goes out in a straight line.
Yeah.
So I just think it's pure laziness.
Yeah.
Like, I remember getting there, going, "Geez, are we not? We're only on 6.
Yeah.
I'm knackered. I need to turn around."
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah. There's golf has given me so many great experiences. Things like that. Things like this. It's nuts.
It's great for the game how big somebody like you being this into golf. It's just fantastic for
I
golf.
hope so.
Drawing
That's-
that much attention to
Oh,
it,
yeah.
going to the women's amateur and providing a show for them. And I know that obviously we laughed about like, oh, everybody's going to take a yes from Augusta National, but I mean, you're busy, you're ready to go on global tours, you get ready to release an album, you got 30+ million followers on Instagram, and then you're just kind of showcasing golf. Like, I don't think you understand how impactful that is for golf too, because you're young and cool, like that guy said.
Thanks very much. Yeah, no, it's just it's really cool. It allows me to combine the passion with my music and my other passion. It's a really cool thing to be able to do, I guess, and be able to try and get like as you said, my following is what you say was 97%.
That's what I was guessing.
90, yeah, it's pretty high, I'd imagine. Female, so
pretty high.
to get if I could like turn 2% of that 30 million on Instagram into it, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
100%.
So if I can try and talk about it a little bit and hope that, because every now and then, like I'll see it, on my Twitter or whatever. I'll see girls like at driving ranges and like, look, Niall, this is what you think of my swing, and that's why I talk about golf all the time.
Yep.
That and the Netflix show have been the biggest things for getting girls into the game. I've seen, like, I'm having conversations with my family members that like they're like rooting on Rory. They didn't. I never talked golf with like my mom or like my sisters or my fiance. Like they didn't care about it. But then they watch it on Netflix and they're like, whoa, this is something I really like.
Yeah.
They follow you on Instagram, they follow you on Twitter, they see that you're doing it, they want to get involved. They want to see who you're interacting with. It's really cool. That was never a part of the game ever.
Yeah,
until
that's where social media is really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what's the rest of your week look like?
I'm going to watch par 3 on the TV now because I'm only staying around the corner. And then, because it's crazy down there. Have you been to the par 3?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
I lost him last year at it.
Yeah.
So we were both in the
and good luck finding anyone with no phone.
Oh,
right.
Both in the merch tent. I took a little bit longer than he did, and then it was gone. I lost him. And then we were supposed to be going to the par 3 because Kisner was there, and he was going to be like using one of our head covers. Remember, we were like, trying to get him something, and I just lost him. And then it was a big game of like phone tag of like someone would be like, "Hey, I just saw Riggsy," because like all our fans were there.
Yeah.
I just saw Riggs. I was like, "Where?" He's like, "He was just walking behind anything." I'm like, "All right."
That helps.
And then they told you that I was there, and we were past each other. 3 hours I was lost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
See, the trick at Augusta is the big oak tree outside the clubhouse.
I know. We never had a point.
Yeah.
Dude, I had a really weird moment.
It's like getting lost as a child, in a supermarket.
Yeah.
Mom!
Yeah.
That's what it was. And I had one
Or
more.
she leaves you when you're about to pay. It's like hold on, let me go get one more thing, and you're like,
Uh-oh. I can't pay for this.
yeah.
One moment out by the big oak tree, I saw him, but he was like 100 yards away, and I saw him through the people, but you can't like yell there.
Yeah.
So I was, and then I go through it, and then he was just gone. Poof. And I'm like, where could he have gone? If I'm Frankie, which way would I go?
Even that too is kind of a blast from the past. Like that's how people lived before cell phones. It's just like my friend.
You just get
we're
lost.
All the movies, and then they're like, they can't go, and they don't tell you, and it's just like, all right, that's kind of how we're living.
What I love about Augusta is it's probably my favorite thing. Like they've become now one of the most forward-thinking like clubs in the planet. Like the way the women's amateur, the way they're changing holes now to make it better for the future, look into the future. They're like the DCP, the drive chip putt thing. And then you also have, you can't bring your phone on there and you couldn't shout for your mate, whereas you could do that at any other golf course. Like, I love the like tradition meets, the future, I suppose.
Yeah.
They nailed it. They Joel Beal from Golf Digest, one of Rapport's former colleagues, had a great piece last week.
Oh yeah,
a lot of speculation in it, but it was talking about Augusta's like 20-year plan and how a lot of stuff that they're doing now, when we see it, was part of their plan 20 years ago, and how they want to, like, they literally plan on having an exit directly from the interstate, like to the parking lot, because they want to try to bypass all of the traffic and all of the chaos out of Washington Road. They don't want people to have to go through that, and then they're going to build housing for all media and all players, and then they want to build a second course was part of it, and there's like speculation that second course might be public, and that they're going to utilize that second course as part of like Augusta National, but that it's kind of friendly towards a lot of the stuff that we're talking about, which is like the forward part of the game and inclusiveness, and maybe it'll be something more like the yards than like Augusta National.
That's what it's about. If you've got the funds to do it,
right?
That's what it's about.
Absolutely,
making it as accessible as possible for everyone. There's
and
no reason why we all shouldn't be able to play it.
You got to spend that money so you don't get taxed on it. So that's just
true. They got enough. I think they got enough.
I think they're doing all right.
They can figure it out.
So you're here all week?
I have to go back to work, so I'm leaving on Friday night. But if Tyrrell's in the hunt, or Rory, I'll probably have to stick around.
I think Rory might be. It might be a little wet. He likes wet conditions.
We don't mind it.
Yeah.
It's going to be, like, I heard something about it not even finishing Sunday.
I know.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of rain.
That'll be a first, won't it?
There was a Monday finish.
Long time ago, was it?
Yeah, there's been very few.
Right, okay.
I'm trying to remember when the last one was, but I feel like there was one not too long ago.
The only thing when Tiger won at 19, they just moved all the tee time.
That's right. They doubled it up, didn't they? Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
They probably have to do that. Sunday.
That was huge because he played as a threesome in the final group. He wouldn't have been in the final group if they played as twos.
Correct.
I think, which is huge.
It was also big for us because Game of Thrones was premiering that night.
That's true.
That was a crazy day,
and we wanted to watch it. And like after the Masters, we always do a podcast right away, and it would have bled into the Game of Thrones premiere.
Was it the premiere? Or was it the final episode?
No, it was the premiere of the final season.
Yeah.
And it had been 2-year wait. Remember that?
Yeah.
So there was all this speculation at the end of the last one. The dragon had.
It's great to see where your priorities.
We remember the dumbest shit.
We had because we wouldn't have had as much time, and then with the early tea times, it would
be the most important part was the Islanders played the Penguins that day in the wild card game. That was the biggest by far.
Now you're going too American for me here.
Yeah. Now we've lost.
Leo Komarov
it back.
Do you know who Connor McDavid is?
I don't.
Okay.
Fuck.
It's a discussion we've had on the podcast recently about Brooks Koepka versus Connor McDavid, who's more famous.
Connor McDavid he's just the best player in the NHL, and it's more of me saying
who's he play with?
The Edmonton Oilers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's way out of your
and Connor, and he's an Irish looking guy.
It's a negative for the NHL that they haven't.
You shouldn't really know who he is.
They got to get bigger. Your best player needs to be known.
Like it's
totally.
By the way, hockey's what a sport! It's
a great
so
sport.
good to watch live.
Yeah,
that's what everybody says.
Oh
live and the
God,
playoffs are awesome.
The speed of it is nuts.
What's the sport they play in Ireland? That's
Hurling.
like hurling's psychotic.
It's nuts.
What's going on with you guys out
there?
there?
So crazy skillful. I don't think people appreciate how hard it is to sprint with a ball on a stick while being knocked off it.
There's
and score.
To the person watching it doesn't know what's going on. There's no rules to me. I mean, it's just chaos.
It's
slashing people's hands.
It used to be a lot worse. It used to be a bit more chaotic. Now they're actually, when you look at it from above, you can actually see a formation.
Okay.
Whereas now it's like that's the way it is. Now it's a bit more tactical. The fitness levels are through the roof, and these guys are not even professionals.
No,
really,
they're amateur. They all have normal jobs to go back to on Monday.
Wow. Dude, it's like field hockey, football, lacrosse, rugby. It's crazy.
Dude, I remember 10 years ago they did a hurling teams came and played in Fenway when I was living in Boston.
That's right, yeah.
And it was on TV, and we were all watching. We were like, "What the fuck is this?" It was insanity.
Like the game's down, then all of a sudden they'll be hitting a rocket by a guy's head, and you're like, "How is that even possible?"
It sounds awesome.
It's crazy.
It's cool.
It's actually worth the watch.
I feel like you'd like it, Trent.
Yeah,
go watch on YouTube.
I'm going to check it out.
It's aggressive. He says. No, it is. All right, we got to go to Ireland. We got to play a little bit of golf. This is crazy. It's crazy that you watch our videos. So, like I said, you might want to pick up a different hobby.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming all the way to Evans, Georgia, to hang out with us.
No, thanks for having me. There's no way I was turning this one down. I appreciate it, and if you ever need me again, give me a shout.
Yeah. We will.
I'm down.
We're going to cash in on that.
Modest Golf, congratulations. It's awesome.
Thanks very much. Yeah, we're really happy with it now.
What a name, too. It's so cool.
Let's go Tyrrell Hatton. That's
the show June 9th.
The show June 9th. Tyrrell Hatton to win the Masters. Us playing golf in Ireland. That's all we need to know.
Okay.
Niall Horan on foreplay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
I speak on this show about going to a big tournament this week that I'm probably more excited about to go into and experience than anything I've been to in a long, long, long time. End of the day, going to events is really what makes life worth living. I went to Mullet Arena last weekend for the first time.
Wow.
Watched an Arizona Coyotes versus the Dallas Stars game. I went with our friend Colt Nost. I was able to use Game Time to get fantastic tickets in there. It's not easy to get tickets in there because they only got 4,000 or 5,000 people packed in. Amazing environment. You're living if you go out to an event.
I do think, post-pandemic, it's something people, or pre-pandemic, I should say, took for granted. Mm-hmm. And then when you take it away, it's like, oh, I want to go see my favorite band or my favorite singer or my favorite hockey team.
Niall Horan, perhaps.
Well, we got Niall Horan on this show, and he's got 70 million social followers, not including TikTok. How many does that guy have on TikTok? So think about how hard it is to get a ticket to that guy's show.
There's a lot of people who want to go to those shows.
It's endless. So you may miss the first drop, but then that secondary market, if you really want to go, Game Time is the place to find it. It's the lowest priced tickets that you're going to find in comparison to all the competition. You have to do it. I'm telling you right now, that's their guarantee that it's going to be the lowest price. So you want to go see Niall, you're going to go on Game Time. 5.6 million.
So he's got almost 80 million followers just on 3 platforms.
And all those people want to see him live.
So do I.
Right.
I'm going to use Game Time to do it. They're the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. That's our company. That's where we work. It's possible to snag any seat with the Game Time app. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on the seats you thought you could never buy. You download the Game Time app or go to the website, enter your email, Redeem code FORE, F-O-R-E, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. You can skip the hassle and you can enjoy the moment. Purchase process takes just 2 taps, takes 10 seconds. Once you buy your tickets, they're delivered directly to your phone. No printer needed. Imagine having to use a printer. The app also allows you to easily share tickets with friends via text, so you can get into the game seamlessly. Go download Game Time now. Enter your email, redeem code FORE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
We're joined by Sahith Theegala. That was good. That one rolled off the tongue, Sahith. Sometimes,
that was nice.
Yeah.
No thought about it.
No thought about it at all. We're joined by Sahith Theegala, world number 29. We are here in Houston, Texas, which you've been calling home for like 6 or 7 months now.
Yeah, longer, actually.
We're also joined by the mini Australian Shepherd, Ollie, who's been kind of running around like crazy.
We'll be making his cameos.
Not your dog.
Not my dog.
It's your old roommate's dog.
Old homeowner's roommate/roommate's dog.
Got it. So we've been down here hanging out for a couple days. Sahith was nice enough to be the first guest on my first solo series, which is called Side Gig. The concept is I caddy for a professional golfer for a little casual match, a little casual round at home. We get really deep on the X's and O's, and just kind of golf nerd out. And so I got to ask the first question is obviously what was my grade as a caddy yesterday? We did okay.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid. Like, I didn't have to really prep you on anything. You kind of got my distances. Like, you got it after a few holes, which is pretty good, I'd say, because I'm a pretty tough guy to club because I feel like I hit my woods and stuff shorter and then my irons and wedges kind of far.
Yeah, your 7-iron was like 190, which really threw me off.
It's a stock 190. But that doesn't really match how far I hit my driver because I feel like I don't hit my driver as far as guys who would hit their 7-iron 190.
You hit it further than me today. I was spinning it off the planet.
Yeah, you were. But your overall grade, we'll get to that, I suppose. But overall grade was pretty good. I'd give it a B, a solid B.
Okay. What could I have done better?
I think a couple reads we got wrong, which isn't on you. It's just tricky Bermuda.
Yeah.
The rake job on 4 really did it for me.
I feel
the
like
rake job on 4 was bad.
I'm gonna get a lot of.
I saw the initial rake job, and the motions were fine. Maybe a little quick, maybe just from stuff in the past that you did. But
just really jerking it, moving quickly.
Really tense forearm.
Yeah, I got a really strong forearm.
And I've watched Carl rake a lot of bunkers because I hit in a lot of damn bunkers, and he's really just like soft and like
you got to be sensual with it.
No stress in the rake job, but that was like a 4.2 out of 10 rake job, or else it would have been a B+. But other than that, the vibes were good.
The vibes were good. The vibes were
great.
Had
a good time.
But you talked about you said you hit your irons far, your driver not so far. We were talking about this yesterday. You don't change your equipment like ever, which to me is kind of crazy. You have the same setup for a tournament in the middle of the summer on a pillow soft golf course in the Midwest as you do at St. Andrews when it's brown. Like why is that?
Yeah, I think that's just like how I grew up, I suppose, and just how I played even in high school and college. I just had my equipment. I thought that was it. And when I was younger, I couldn't afford to have 2 of whatever. And I think that's the case with most people. But even when I had access to that kind of stuff, I feel like I've practiced with, this specific thing for so long that I'm so used to it that I'd rather take the comfort level over maybe, this type of wedge would go through the turf a little bit better. I'd rather have that comfort level of knowing this is my same wedge, same grind for so long. And I think just that alone, like I've thought about it, but I've also thought if I'm only going to get a week's worth of reps with this new stuff, how am I going to feel that comfortable versus, 2 years worth of reps, which is usually how long I have my irons. And I need to change my wedges more. I know I've changed my wedges like once a year, other than my lob wedge. But yeah, I just feel like the comfort level kind of overrides the whole need for me to change stuff and just kind of adapt. And that's why the first thing I do when I get to a tournament is just short game it.
Just see how it feels
exactly
going
through the turf. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're playing in the Masters next week, which is pretty cool. Your first one.
Yeah.
You were saying that you've been thinking about this week for a little while.
Yeah, I have. Honestly, I've probably been thinking about it since I got the letter in the mail right before Christmas.
Did it come to this place?
it came to my parents' house because I was there, and I knew I would be there during that time. So I had it at my parents' house, which made it even more special to kind of open it with them. But I think it's just going to take me, I'm going Sunday. I'm going a day earlier than I normally would. The hope is just to try and settle down and just go through my normal process as much as I can. Yeah.
So as far as preparation goes, I've seen some videos of guys on Instagram who are practicing, hooking a 3-wood or practicing hitting shots off of uneven lies, but doesn't seem like you're really doing that.
Yeah. I feel like one of the strengths of my game is just not having a range swing the whole way through. And I know a lot of guys do that, but I feel like I'm such a feel kind of guy, even in practice and how I've played golf my whole life. I've always done that. I've shaped it both ways. I definitely think about how to play each hole more because
you watched old Masters and stuff.
I've watched every old Masters and I've rewatched all the coverages on YouTube and stuff. So, but yeah, I'm not working on any shots or anything special for this next week at all.
Did you believe growing up? We talked about this. No one in your family played golf. You didn't have the money to afford all this and that. Did you believe that you'd be playing in the Masters one day? Was it kind of a thing where it was like, you know what, this is my destiny, or are you still kind of pinching yourself that this is real?
Yeah, I think my answer with a lot of this stuff is pretty similar in that I've dreamed of it. Like I've dreamed of playing on the PGA Tour and being in contention, whatever. And I've dreamed of playing the Masters, but I think there's a difference between dreaming of it and working towards that goal your whole life and then actually being there. It's like, did I ever think I was going to play the Masters? Yes, but then now that I actually am, it still doesn't feel like I'm going to be playing the Masters, if that makes any sense at all. I think I'll have a better answer of that when I am finished playing with the Masters, but honestly, I've dreamt of playing the Masters, and the fact that I'm going to be there just adds to how special this week is going to be. And I think getting over this first one, I'm not worried about the golf. Once I tee off on the first hole, I'm going to be so nervous on the first hole, by the way, but once I tee off on the first hole, I think I'll be good from there. And I won't think about the fact that I'm playing the Masters and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, did I ever think I was going to play the Masters? I'm not really sure on that question. I don't know. There's times where I'm like, I'm going to play the Masters. And there's times where it's like, I have no chance of playing the Masters.
Yeah.
So
it's still a crazy experience. But from what I gather, you've been a few times already?
Been a few times. Being there, watching it, and then finally being there for the first time, it's like, wow, this is real. And it took me one trip. The first visit, I was just taking it all in.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't even focused on the golf that much. I was just like, oh my God, I'm here. We went to the par 3 course and got a tour of the whole place and was just taking in every angle of every hole. Second time, got a little more. I still just the first time I went there, the second time I was still taken aback by everything. And all 3 times, lucky enough to play with somebody that I know. I know how much they appreciate it. They don't need to kiss my ass or anything. Yeah. We're just boys like that, and I know they would do the same for me if they had the opportunity. So it was really special. It was really, really special.
Yeah, and you were saying earlier today that we played a great golf course today, Blue Jack, Tiger Woods design, and you were saying that like it's still really cool to you that you can just like go do that.
Yeah,
you grew up playing public courses in Southern California.
Yeah, every time I have a day like this, I just try and at least give myself a couple moments to be like, dude, just be grateful for this. You know how many people would just kill for this kind of opportunity just to play a course like this one time.
Yeah.
Let alone, I feel like golf has given me so many opportunities and I can do this. And one of the big things is just to be able to share it with other people around. I think that's the best part of all of this. It's not even for my personal benefit or glory or whatever. It's just like to be able to share these cool experiences with other people. And a day like today and getting to play the best courses all around the world. I mean, every tournament we go to, it's one of the best courses in the world.
And it's the course is in as good a shape as it's ever
as good a shape as it's ever going to be. And my mind, at least right now, is in a good spot of just focusing on the process, trying to get better, and then just not taking it for granted every step of the way, the opportunities that I have.
You're so green, man. You're so like pure. I hope the world doesn't change you.
Thank you. I might come across that way, and I do feel like I am that way. Obviously, I have my doubts about certain things, but I've always been pretty optimistic about just, I feel like life in general. That's maybe a little deeper than
but no, it's, I mean, but you do have that side of you, and I saw it today and yesterday where like you'll definitely put some pressure on a guy on a golf course. You don't get to being you won every award in college. You're playing on the PGA Tour. You made the Tour Championship last year. You don't get that just being like Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah, I think people who are really close to me know that I'm a really, really big competitor and I hate losing. And that's why I feel like I just like force myself to get good at a lot of things. I hate losing more than anything in the world, I feel like. But at the same time, it's like you can do that and not be a dick.
Yeah.
You can be a nice guy. And
there's definitely a way to do it and not be a dick.
And I'm not going out of my way to be fake or be nice. I'm like, dude, we're all like, at least most of the people that I get to spend a lot of time around are either close buddies or like are through golf and stuff like that. And I'm always just trying to like remind ourselves of like, dude, we're playing golf for a living. Like, are you kidding me? And luckily enough, maybe it's just the way my personality is, but a lot of my best friends are pretty optimistic too, and just like good people to be around and good energy.
I would say so. These last couple of days, we've had a great time.
The squad out here in the Woodlands, they're good. They're such good guys.
I noticed you have a very fancy automobile outside. I did not necessarily peg you as a fancy automobile guy.
No, I don't think a lot of people do, but it's kind of my one. I'm blanking on the word, but it's kind of the one thing that I've always wanted.
Yeah, like your white whale.
Yeah, my white. Sure, go with that.
That's literary. That's Moby Dick reference.
Okay. That's not what I was thinking of, but yes, it's my one thing that I've always kind of wanted materially is a nice car. Luckily enough, I was able to purchase one of my dream cars 4.5 months ago. I haven't flexed it. I don't think it's made any social media appearances or anything. But it's a 2020 BMW M5 competition. Matte gray, really sick paint job. Shout out to John Lamani, who I got the car from, Keith Mitchell's caddy. He kept it in pristine shape. I went and got it serviced last week, and they couldn't believe how good of a shape the car is in. So that was good to hear, is buying it from him. But yeah, the thing's an absolute beast. I don't know how it's road legal.
And you were saying that you had kind of an emotional moment the first time you drove it?
Yeah. I'm a pretty emotional guy, I feel like, and maybe I feel like I'm a pretty emotional guy, and I was just like really thankful. So I was just driving up, and I don't know, I was just in my feels up the drive, and I talked to my dad, and like when I was talking to my dad, I was like pretty emotional. I just bought like my dream car and paid for it. And I talked to my girlfriend of like 2.5 months, and we've been together almost 7 months now. It just seemed like things were going like too good. And it was just like a moment of like, dude, just like we're all going through our own things, but just like it's nice to be able to live in that moment for me and just be like super thankful for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sound so soft right now.
No,
I swear I get
people love this stuff.
I'm not the nicest guy in the world.
No, you're a prick, dude. You're a total prick. Everyone knows that. Sahith Theegala, like one of the meanest guys out there.
PGA Tour 2K23. We have a big announcement coming on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
We're going to tease the announcement. Remember, you can play as Tiger Woods in the game right now. It's the only golf video game. That you
plays
play
John Cena.
As Tiger Woods. Is that right, John Cena?
Really?
They had like an invisible guy walking around with just a hat.
No way.
Yeah. But I think he's just in the game. Yeah, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
This weekend, you can play for free, I believe, from the morning of April 6th until the afternoon of April 9th.
Wow.
You can literally play PGA Tour 2K23 for free, so there's no better time. And then again, on the 9th, which is the final round, I think the 9th is the final round of the tournament.
It is.
On the 9th, that afternoon, we're going to release, that evening, I guess, we're going to release our podcast. That will be our knee-jerk reactions to the 2023 Masters Tournament. And we have a big announcement in that game. As you know, we've been teasing, we've been talking about our characters. We've been working with 2K, with PGA Tour 2K23 on our characters, on our mannerisms, on everything about them. You're going to be able to play with them quite soon. So we're going to have a big announcement on Sunday's show. But
it's a great game, man. It's a lot of fun.
Divot Derby is
a lot of fun. There's a lot of different game modes. You can play matches. Like we said before, you can play with Tiger, you can play with Michael Jordan, Steph Curry, John Cena. If you love golf video games, or if you just love video games, give this thing a try, and I guarantee you will love it.
You get the roar of the crowd. You can sink a big putt. You can hoist any trophy. You can play for the FedEx Cup and PGA Tour 2K. You can play all great courses. You got courses that are made by folks like you and me. Frankie made a couple courses. All kinds of fantastic stuff in this game. Plus, it's incredibly realistic. You're going to go through the grind. You're going to have great moments. It's really, 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 really fun. So, big announcement coming. Make sure you have the game. Make sure you download the game so that once this announcement comes, once what we're talking about is available, you have access to it. Tiger Woods is in the game. You can go play with him now. PGA Tour 2K23. Go buy it now.
So since we last had you on the show, you were beamed into 240 million households via the Netflix machine.
It's a crazy number.
It's a crazy number. How'd you feel they portrayed you, and have you noticed an uptick in whether it's people following you on social media or people following you at golf tournaments?
It's been pretty epic. Like my parents came out last week to Austin, and the amount of people that were just yelling like full swing or like Netflix, it's just unreal. Week to week, way more than I thought. Like I knew Netflix was a big deal and all that, but I just didn't think you would. Like so many non-golfers follow me now.
Yeah.
And like the amount of recognition that it's gotten is awesome. And that's a big shout out to the producers and everyone behind this. But yeah, it's especially my family. My family got the spotlight and I'm very thankful for that. My parents, dad's the GOAT.
You know, your dad came across so well in the show, and I watched the episode before I came here to sort of prep, and he said something, and I was talking to my brother, and my brother has 3 kids, and they're starting to play sports, and you have to kind of think about how you're going to approach that.
Yeah.
Because, obviously there's all these horror stories about people going too far and the kid gets burnt out.
Yeah.
Your dad said, from a young age, I think it was after you won Junior World as like a 2-year-old, that I knew the kid was special, but I knew the kid was special, and I knew I had to do everything that I could to help him. It wasn't for me, this was like, this kid has a gift, and it's my job to shepherd him through it. And I think it's even more impressive because he was navigating a totally new universe.
Yeah. No, you hit it spot on right there. He literally had no idea how to do it. Like where he's from in India, and his whole family, like studies and academics were the only, like, that was it. That's what you did, and that's what you focused on.
In IT, you were saying?
IT, yeah, computer engineer. He went to like the MIT of India, by the way. It's called IIT Madras. But anyway, he's a genius, and so is the rest of my family. And that's why I had to go into sports, because I didn't have the brain power that they did, and I didn't work as hard in school. But anyway, he did such a good job. Like, he'll be the first to admit it wasn't a perfect thing. He had to learn along the whole way, and so did my mom, who's obviously a huge part of this too. And they had to learn, but he did such a good job in giving me opportunities my whole childhood, even though maybe we didn't have the resources to compete with some of the other top juniors and didn't have as many of those resources and opportunities. But he gave me everything he could, I think. And I'm just really thankful, because he was the right amount of hard on me, but also he had a perspective of, dude, if you don't love it and if it doesn't come from within you and you don't have a passion for it, then forget about it. Like at this age, you got to love everything that you do. And that really stuck with me as I got older and then matured through college, and just having that perspective, the way my dad just felt like he sacrificed so much for my family, and my mom sacrificed so much for me and my brother too. Just knowing that, I was like, it pushed me to work a little bit harder. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, shout out to them for raising a sports child when they had no experience themselves, and none of their family had experience. So, I think that's why he's made so many good friends with other golf parents too, because I feel like a big thing as like a sports dad or mom is like you talk with other parents about how to handle certain stuff.
Yeah.
And
how to handle failure, how to handle success.
Everything, right? Yeah. So I think that was big.
There was a time, though, you were saying a couple of years, I think it was like when you're going through your growth spurt.
Yeah.
Where you weren't working hard, and you were just basically playing video games and not talking to anyone all day.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
Sounds like Alex Bush.
A couple years in high school. It sounds so lame, but I would get up in the morning, and the one reason that like got me through the school day was the fact that I could play video games after school was over. I would think about video games the whole time.
What was your game?
It was Minecraft for the most part. Yeah, Minecraft. I played Super Smash. I'm blanking on some of the stuff. I played a lot. It was all PC games, and it wasn't like it wasn't like the MLG stuff or anything. It was just certain aspects of certain games that I fell in love with. I fell in love with like sandbox type games. So I would just come back, and I had like like a separate reality almost. The video games gave me, and I was
you weren't super social. You said
no, I was not social, and that was kind of my social outlet were the video games, and yeah, it's just like another channel for me to be competitive. So like just the combination of that honestly helped me in my golf later on. I think.
How so?
Just realized like it made me realize what's important, and I think I needed something other than golf to know that I had or focus my time on. And as I got more mature and in college when I hurt my wrist and couldn't play golf, I realized I had such dope friends and my family, and like not everyone's blessed with that. So sounds repetitive, but just like the perspective of all that really freed me up for golf. And you know, knowing that I could just channel it through something else, whether it be video games, even though that wasn't the most healthy way, or whatever it might be, it just like it gave me another outlet to kind of like focus my time away from golf. Because if you're just, there's some people who are definitely built for just golf, but I learned that I'm not one of those people.
You are like the Gen Z golfer. I think Gen Z, I think the cutoff is like right in between us. And I can totally see it. Like you
now I'm chess. Now it's
so are you back? You know, we talked about that last time you were on the show, that you've just been in a chess wormhole. Yeah. Are you playing again?
Yeah, so I got to give a little backstory on that. I took probably 5 or 6 months off from chess this last time. Since I've talked about it, I was on like the grind to 2000, and pretty much since that grind.
Explain that to people who don't know what 2000 is.
Okay, so like chess elo. I'll try and explain it as best as I can in like a handicap system.
Yeah.
Which I know the chess people will just lose their shit over, but it's okay.
I don't think we have a lot of chess listeners.
That's fair too. But you don't. I mean, when you start chess, I'd say as a total beginner, you're like a 200 or 400 elo, like not knowing anything, right? And that's like total beginner. And then the top grandmasters in the world, I'm talking like online rating, probably 2,800 elo. So that's like top of the top. There's a couple guys that have hit 3,000, but like 2,800 is pretty much just, it's really, really high. You're in the 0.00001 percentile. And that would be equivalent to a John Rahm, who's like a +9 handicap or whatever that would be. And I would say 2,000 is kind of the gold standard of a scratch. Okay. So it's like really good, right? Yeah. For an amateur golfer to be a scratch golfer, you're a beast.
People are coming up to you at dinner parties and talking about golf if you're a scratch.
Exactly. You're beating up on all the other guys, and people are jealous of you. Chess, maybe not so much, but but I grinded my butt off for grinded my butt off for a while in chess. This was right when I got hurt.
Ollie, stop licking his face.
Dude, he's just a lover.
He's fun. He's great.
So I picked up chess when I hurt my wrist. I got surgery in January of 2019. That's when I picked it up. And I got good like pretty quick, but I also played like 6 hours a day. If you can't tell, I have a very addictive personality.
Yeah, you go down wormholes.
Big wormholes. But yeah, I got to like 1,500 in 2 years, which I thought was pretty good. And then the next 2 years, I made slow progress. Got to like high 1900s, and I've just been plateaued at 1900s for 8-9 months now.
What do you got to do to get you to like beat players in the 1900s?
Yes, and I'm trying. I'm getting back into it, and a large part of that is because one of my buddies, Fred, who I got into chess, he's been playing maybe 2.5 years, 3 years, and he's getting really, really good now. He plays a lot. He's full addict just like me, and he caught up to my rating just a few days ago.
Can't let that happen.
And I just couldn't let it happen. So I played a couple games, got the itch going a little bit. I'm not fully back into it, but this whole time I've still been watching chess content, like shout out Gotham Chess. I've been watching a lot of chess content like a true nerd, and I love it. So I'm kind of back on it, and I really want to hit 2,000. Like I really, really want to hit 2,000.
Have you ever tried like putting anal beads in as a strategy?
Yeah, and just vibrating.
Yeah. Was that like, did they ever get to the bottom of that?
Yeah, I don't think he cheated personally. I think it would be way too hard to even figure out some convoluted system.
People don't know. You got to Google chess.
Yeah, vibrating.
Just Google chess
beads
scandal, and
it's become a meme.
Do you guys not know about this?
It's become a total meme in the chess community.
So there's a Magnus Carlsen. Is that his name? Right?
Yeah,
he's like the GOAT.
He's the tiger of chess.
He's the tiger of chess, and he lost to some like random American guy.
Yeah, he lost to this like 19-year-old guy who's really, really good. He's from New York, grandmaster. He just became a grandmaster, and he had like one of the biggest elo jumps in terms of for his age. And like, anyway, he went from 2,500 to 2,600 really fast, which was like really, really hard to do. And he beat Magnus in a game, and
in like a tournament.
He beat Magnus in a game, played like people have analyzed the game and he made 1 or 2 inaccuracies, but he basically played a perfect game against Magnus's opening. And I think what happened is like Magnus's preparation, because like they prepare for these openings, might have gotten leaked somehow. So he knew what his name's Hans Niemann, knew what Magnus.
Of course, his
played.
name is Hans.
Oh, this guy's actually like a chess prodigy.
Hans.
But anyway, Magnus like basically called him out for cheating. Basically, I don't think he ever came out and said he cheated, but he's implied it through like these cryptic messages.
And where did the anal beads come from? Was that
It's just a total meme.
People just made that up and it caught on.
Yeah, vibrating beads.
Yeah, so the theory was that he had like a set of anal beads that were hooked up to like a chess computer, and based on the vibrations, they were telling him how to move. One of the craziest accusations of all time. We will move on. We will move on from that and get back to the Masters if Ollie will stop squeaking. Ollie's just being a menace right now. There's a lot of people on golf Twitter who think, his back's gonna give him problems early because you've got kind of a crazy action through the ball. Mm-hmm. But you were saying that it's actually kind of the way your body's built.
Yeah. And I think that's a big thing in golf that's actually overlooked is like, dude, you can't swing it like Rory. I mean, the guy's a freak. You can't swing like
you especially with your...
Yes. Like you cannot swing it like that because anatomically they're built a certain way, and there's one single way that many bodies swing that's great for that body. And yes, do a lot of people have similar bodies and similar actions work for those bodies? Absolutely. But like there's look at John Rahm, great example. There's so many great outliers and examples of they just swing to their body. And I feel like I'm another example of that. And even though it looks like I'm putting a lot of stress on my body, which I am, I mean, golf is such an unnatural motion. But it actually we've found a way to put pretty much the least amount of stress possible on my body. I have scoliosis and I have an 18-degree curve to the left, which is nice for me because I can get that side bend.
That sounds like a big curve.
It's pretty big. I think the kind of the surgery scope is when you get to around 25 degrees is when like you kind of need surgery. So 18 is like pretty still far away from that threshold. And my trainer and my chiro, we work pretty hard on like being on top of it, regimented to keep it at 18 because it could get worse. But I think I've found a good kind of method and stuff like that, and I've focused more on just strengthening my body. And
so if you were to do one of those swings where you hit all those positions, like that wouldn't feel right for you because of your spine.
Yeah, it wouldn't feel right for me. It wouldn't be efficient for my body. I mean, maybe I could get more speed, but in the long term, it would just be putting more strain on my body and hurting me. So like post injury, me and my coach and trainer and doctors, post wrist injury, yes. We're just like, all right, we have this time to kind of rebuild my swing a little bit. Let's like look at it in a long-term scope of thing where it's putting the least amount of stress on my body. And I've played more golf than I ever have in the last 3.5 years, and knock on wood, it's the healthiest I've been in my life. So I think if I just keep on top of it and swing how my body allows me to, not worry about the noise and stuff, I think we'll be fine. But you never know. You can't take it for granted.
It's worked thus far.
It has.
Have you told your parents that like they can't like scream as loud as they usually do at Augusta?
We were talking about that yesterday, and I love it, but I think my agent Lynn has kind of keyed him in on like you got to chill a little bit. But I just love the energy, so like it breaks. I can't say anything, so I'm like, Lynn, you got to tell him just like come chill a little bit. And my dad gets it, but even him, like when you're in the moment, when you're cheering for someone you love,
take the squeaky toy away from him. Now he's playing tug with it. Yeah, he knows. Basically, you're saying
he knows, and my family knows. They really get it. They're great, and I think they're fan favorites too. When they see them out there, but I feel like they've always been respectful. But yeah, just reminders of like, hey, like, no, don't run out there.
Yeah,
like,
no running. They'll get mad at you for running.
This is as classy as a golf tournament gets. Like best behavior.
What would constitute a good week next week? Because we were talking about. Yeah, making the cut at the Masters is like you kind of have to play not so hot to miss the cut because it's 80. I think it's 89 players. Yeah, right now maybe you'll get to 90 if the guy who wins Valero gets in, and they do top 50 in ties. Mm-hmm. So that's already well over half. And then you've got 5 or 6 guys who won the tournament 20 plus years ago, and
that are not even
and really 5 or 6 amateurs. So you really got to beat like 10 guys to make the cut. So I would imagine that it's not like a let's just make the cut situation.
Yeah, I honestly haven't thought about my expectations for Augusta that much. I'm just so excited to be there and like just take it all in and the nervousness of it. I know I'm going to be crapping myself on the first tee box, but I've never really thought about what I want to finish or like I honestly haven't thought about the cut. I'm sure I'll think about the cut because it's my first time and it's a big major and it's the Masters and all that, but I'll think about it. But like, I just want to make sure like I'm prepared as well as I can for Augusta, like I would be for any other tournament, and just my game's been trending in such a good direction. I would think I have a good chance to play well.
Yeah, we were saying, we'll wrap it up here in a bit, but we were saying that you don't feel like there's kind of one golf course that fits your game. You feel like your results have been like almost random.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think that just goes back to what I was saying about being a very field golfer, and I'm very optimistic about golf courses and golf course designs too. Like there's very few golf courses where I'm like, I really don't like this golf course. It doesn't fit me. TPC Summerlin is one of the few. That's why I didn't play it this year, even though it's 3 hours from my home in LA. But there's very few courses that I truly don't like. So that optimistic viewpoint, I think, has helped me mentally a lot. Just being like, all right, I can like do well at this golf course. Maybe even if like it requires a lot more draws off the tee, which I hit mostly cuts off the tee. And funny enough, I've played well on some draw courses too. So it's just, I think it's more of a mindset thing. And then just getting my floor a little bit higher has helped as well. So like even on courses that maybe traditionally don't fit me, like some part of my game, usually, which my short game is the best part of my game, which I think is kind of an equalizer. And when I hit the ball well, that's when I have my better finishes.
Well, it's been fun hanging out these last couple of days. We're super excited for next week, as I'm sure you are.
Yeah,
we'll see you out there, and
fun couple of days, just chilling.
A really good couple of days, and again, thank you so much for being the first guest, because I think
I'm honored.
I think people are going to love it.
Me as my first guest.
I think people are going to love it, and I'm excited for everyone to see it. And good luck next week, man.
Thank you. I'll be curious to see what people think of this, because I thought it was really fun, and you don't get to see guys in that light that often. I'm not saying just for myself, but just in general. I think this is going to be pretty sick.
I hope so.
And thank you. I'll take all the good luck I can get for next week.
We're sending you as much as we can. Thanks again. All right.
Thanks, Dan.